Hello? What's up?
Hey, Carl, what's up?
All right, welcome to Group Chat, episode 17, I believe. Unsure, but I think it's 17. Presented by Run Through a Wall, best smelling salts in the business. Today we got a great show for you. We're going to catch up with Jaylen Hanson, who's the bronze medalist from X Games Street Style. Hailey Langland's going to call in, talk about X Games. She just announced it. As well as a call from friend of the show, Todd Richards, who always provides. We're going to break down a few heater clips. We got some X Games analysis, some product talk, some trivia. It's going to be a great show. And again, thanks for all of our sponsors coming on board. Woodward, Bubs, Herschel, Mammoth, Turtlebox, Nitro, Onyx, and Joey's Footbeds. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for everything, all the Patreon members. Now let's get into the show. To my right, we got Bjorn Leines in studio. What's happening, Bjorn?
Just kicking it, man. Getting, just coming out of the mountains, ready to get back up in the mountains.
Whew, did you get up there today?
Well, technically, no. Yesterday.
Perfect. And then, of course, we got Travis Rice in studio. What's happening, Trav?
I couldn't be happier to be here. I mean, look at this setup and with Bjorn.
Woo.
This is just for the memory banks.
Woo. And Silk D on production. How we doing?
What up? Happy to be here. It is episode 17.
It is episode 17. I love that. Perfect. Well, I'd like to start by maybe recapping our morning, Travis. What do we get into here?
Yeah, I mean, I just rode a high pressure system from the coast all the way here last night and getting up for some jump laps at Woodward this morning. Amazing transition.
High pressure means sunny?
High pressure meaning there is a low pressure headed for the entire region. It has been a dry popcorn fart of a 3-week dry spell, and the winds just picked up at the end of our session. I don't know if you felt that, but it was that low pressure just starting to kind of fill in, coming to the Rockies. Next 10, 12 days, going to be weather in the mountains. But bluebird today in the park, and that is, I don't get too many of those.
Let me tell you something. T-Rick on the park jumps, still got it. Still there.
Yes.
It might, a couple cobwebs, but dusting it off, it felt good. The jumps were, I gotta say, were beautifully crafted. Incredible takeoff, steep landing. Not what I've kind of found has become what I think the norm. Like, occasionally I dip into some park, and I swear that there is a pandemic of ski pop dished out takeoffs that it just, maybe I'm just getting old, but back in my day, man, you didn't have to go hit this crazy compression on the ups, and a lot of parks I feel like have that happening.
Oh, you're right, because I ride Woodies quite a bit, and the difference is this year they've got Benny, who's in charge of the whole place. He's actually grooming them out and started building them, and not saying the other guys don't know what's up, but dude, the jump stepped it up this year. That kind of bigger line, super fun. That's, I guess, hitting right.
Three-pack Shakur.
Yeah.
Three-pack Shakur.
Three-pack Shakur.
Yeah. Why don't we do a couple recaps, highlights? We were riding with Sage, a.k.a. Colonel Kotzenberg. He was putting it down.
He's smooth.
Yep.
Always been.
A lot of goofy footers. Tiarn.
Tiarn blew my mind. It's like, hey, how you doing? Oh, he's just getting off, coming back from a little ankle injury. I'm like, yeah, I can tell. Just absolute super pop, every hit, switchback, cab back, he's got the sprock to catch. Yeah, he's fresh with the grab. He holds it all away.
Oh yeah, yep.
I was impressed.
Yep, yeah. He's got that. Those contest guys are just attack the park.
Yeah,
it's not like I'm not cruising around. They're attacking the jumps.
Yeah, he's fully fluent. I feel like I hadn't spoke Spanish in a few years. I'm down there just trying to fumble for how do I ask where the bathroom is?
Yeah, I think what I was experiencing was almost it's like a hot dinner plate when you don't want to touch it, right? That's me trying to grab my board. It's as soon as I touch it, it's it's on. I'm gonna burn my hand. It's
you were probably lacing those cab fives up. I mean, let's be real, right?
I was going cab 5, backy back 1, very chill. But I got a line of Trav at the van. I'm like, you want me to snipe you on one? He goes, back 1, switch back 5, back rodeo. Whew.
Yeah, man. It did nothing like the pressure of follow cam. Just puts you into
Straight up film mode.
yeah, you're talking X Games mode.
X Games mode. That's been the buzzword. I've been watching a lot of X Games lately. Those announcers for X Games mode, first run. Oh my gosh. You're just like, yeah, those X Games mode.
All right, we will cover X Games later in the show, but let's just tee off fresh on the mind, natural selection. Trav, why don't you maybe run down what's coming down the pipeline for Natty Select?
Yeah, man, it's you probably caught wind of the bigger story here, which years of working towards kind of launching in a few other quote unquote verticals. We're getting a little bit more horizontal, and yeah, I mean, look, we just ran an all-time surf event in a very remote location on this planet on a relatively new wave that is pretty hard to get, and we fucking scored. Hats off to the entire team that we've been building, like with NSurf. Travis Foray, and we got Jason Murray, who's a bit of a kind of OG legend, interfacing with the I would call most respected pirate out there in the surf community, Martin Daly. And I'm thrilled for people to see this kind of fresh take on kind of how we are looking to support a different take on, surf. And then we've got mountain biking coming up, major, like kind of first natural selection titled mountain bike event coming up in literally 2 weeks down in New Zealand, down outside of Queenstown. And, the mountain bike team led by Todd Barber I can't wait for people to see the venue. The venue is like larger than most of the snowboard venues we've had. And that's including some of these like beastie backcountry venues that we've held over the years. And then, I mean, everything's firing with like duels. I just got back from Japan with Aya and Sharka competing over there. Duels is firing, which really love to hear some thoughts in a bit as, Bjorn's going north to Canada tomorrow. Go see if he can't put some youth in this place. And then this spring, we got a major ski event, kind of first of its kind test event, I would say, but it's going to still be like full-fledged. Like the rider list there is nuts. So it's been full on, but.
Are you okay? I'm serious.
Borderline.
That's like one natural selection is nuts. And like, it seems like everybody's been, killing themselves to get like, from what I hear talking to Liam, how much work it is. And then you're like, well, now we're not just going to do snow. We're going to do mountain bike, ski, surf. And you're just like, that's why I ask.
I mean, it's pretty overwhelming. We've got such great teams in their relative spaces that like at the end of the day, are working with us and are working towards this because they truly fundamentally believe in like a brighter future within these realms. We see it. And that's the impetus, like good people at the end of the day, that's all that matters is the people that are doing it.
Amazing. Bjorn, you got duels coming up.
Yes, sir.
Who you competing against?
Bryn Alexander.
Yeah, better than police is IG?
Better than the police, which respect on the Instagram name. Like if you're sitting around and you're going to come up with something, hey, I'm just way better than the police. I love it. Like
Homie's a weapon.
He's a weapon, man.
Homie's a weapon. How we feeling?
We're feeling good. I've connected with him a bit. And, one thing I'm just pumped on, it's all about community, right? Like, you end up meeting like a new rider. He's like a young buck. Has the respect of the Whistler, community in Canada. I know we're going to fast become friends. I'm just kind of going in as, I'm going to say the underdog. I'm going to be like limping in there like a wounded dog, kind of not up for the fight, play a little coy because this doesn't come out till afterwards. Sorry, Bryn, but I've been training, baby. Yeah, we're out there.
So you're going to his turf though, technically, no?
Technically, back when I was his age, I was a Wildcat, and that was my turf. I was up there with the Canadian Wildcats. So, excuse me, we spent a lot of time in the backcountry there having some fun. Devin Walsh and Chris Duffsey, Chris Brown, Kale Stevens, all those boys, JF. And I haven't been riding there in a long time, so I'm excited to like be in that Canadian, Whistler backcountry terrain. The Journeyman Lodge, I mean, it's pretty stellar. The photos that I've seen, the venue, and then the human-powered aspect, like getting up, being, like on a split board. For me, that's pretty, that's what I've been doing a lot of the last, 10 years, really. And, yeah, I think it's cool to kind of showcase, you can freestyle on a split board, and it's going to be great, man. I'm excited about it.
Now, I heard he might be rocking verts and a solid, or is he going splitty as well?
I think word on the street is verts and a solid. I don't quite know how that will play out from I'm sure we'll match up as far as how many runs. It's not going to be but I'll definitely not be breathing this hard maybe on the split board than the verts. And I don't know what that choice was, maybe around the brand, the snowboard company rides, where I don't think they actually make splits. Mm-hmm. But I could bring you a split, Bryn, if you want. No big deal. Cardiff's got your back.
I heard they're pretty good. People talk about the Cardiff ones. I heard they're decent.
They are top-notch, award-winning. Yes, sir. No, straight up. That's what's fun, though, is I don't, as a brand owner and such, it's cool to have your product be validated by others. And so, yeah. But with the Natty, for me, back when Travis did the first one in 2008, which was absolutely epic conditions, it snowed 6 or 7 feet in a week, right? And we were all there, and correct me if I'm wrong, Trav, but nobody actually landed a run. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you won, but nobody actually landed a full run, right? Every way I at least nose roll one time. For the most part.
I mean, I think that there was something like that for the Big Mountain Day, right?
Yeah,
for the
Big
Casper
Mountain
Bowl Day.
Yeah,
yeah, it was
so
3 feet deep,
dude. Yeah, and but just to be a part of that, the community, the launch of it, see Trav's vision, come to light, and then now full circle, being 64 years old and being back in the mix. It's cool. I would say the only thing I am bummed is that Bryn is not quite half my age, so it's close, but. It's going to be good.
Oh,
age is a mindset.
I'm so psyched to see this come together because we've been talking a few years about foot power duel, and it was actually supposed to be split duel, and I don't know if there was he'd never split or just didn't have the gear or what. I think that he was allowed to put on the paddles. So I'm curious to see how it goes, because if it's a pretty deep, if it's a deep zone, hour or two to hike up to,
right,
it's gonna be tough.
How's the fitness for you? How's
for
your
me?
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I don't want to brag, but I do 100 push-ups every morning and 9,000 sit-ups. No, I split board very, very often. I've always kind of had good just cardiovascular strength, and I ran cross country and when I was a kid or whatever. So I don't know if that's translated, but a lot of my younger guys, I got one of my guys on my team. He's goes to F45 all the time. He's all pissed. He's oh, old man strength, huh? I get it. He's huffing and puffing, and I'm still going. So I don't know. I just love being out there on the mountain, and split boarding has really kind of fulfilled me a lot. And being able to throw that freestyle element in there, that's what I think is the coolest part of snowboarding. And so, yeah, doing it on a split board will be fun.
Amazing. So we got duels, a bunch of duels happening. Some of the matchups off the top of your head, Trav, and put you on the spot. Steffi, I know Steffi just went to Colorado and competed against Madison Blackley.
Yep, they just ended on Crested Butte.
Yep. Who else we got?
Who else do we got? Let's see. We got, who is rolling the Jackson event? I should know this.
Sharka.
I know that Kirkwood coming up is Brandon Davis.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to butcher his name, Severian Vendemir.
Yeah.
Sven. Yeah.
Severin.
Yeah.
Sven. Absolute ripper. Oh, yeah, we got Stale and Tor Lindstrom, right? They were going head-to-head somewhere over in Europe. I saw that going down. And that's, for me, that's kind of really full circle. Stale and I had a little conversation, short story long here. When Stale came over to America, we were Rome teammates. He's 16 years old. He's Bjorn, we should both do mohawks. I'm mohawks. I got kids, and I'm yeah, sure, punk rock, whatever. So he's so we just straight up cut mohawks for this Shred Remains video or whatever. He was 16 years old, and now full circle, Stale's 30, has a kid, and I'm hey, we make it to finals, we're going mohawks. Are
Wow.
you down? So
Yep.
we'll see what he says.
Oh yeah, dude, Stolle's is gonna be a weapon. That'll be fun to watch.
He's a
You-
beast.
You got any other names?
Well, and then the last one's up in Jackson, actually, High Mountain Heli, and that's Blake Moeller and Gabe Ferguson.
Oh, BMO,
right.
Gabe Ferg. That's gonna be a
Yeah.
barn burner.
Dude.
Which if we get we're getting the snow, we'll see if we get the stability, the venue we have, for them to run it on. Like if we get it, good conditions, it's going to be epic.
Well, I'm just gonna say this right now. I don't know what's going on with the duels. I don't know if they've competed. I don't know anything, but I do know that BMO, if he makes it to the finals, he's my dark horse. Like no offense, Bjorn, no offense, Trav, but like BMO is a sleeper. Like he could take the whole thing, like no problem. But he's got to get through Gabe. Gabe's a weapon.
Yeah, BMO's come up in some contests. He's got some of that strategy, did Freeride World Tour stuff, and I can see that too. I've seen him ripping around at Brighton, just doing some absolute tranny finding sends, big drops. So
Yeah,
I concur.
I think part of it's going to come down to see if Gabe Ferguson takes his foot off the gas again. Because, dude, he added it in the can and then opted last run, his last NST run, he opted for the laid out backy on the last feature and just took his foot off the gas and gave it away.
Who is he battling on that one?
I want to say Sage.
Was
I
it
feel like
Sage?
there was a Utah Bend battle going on, maybe.
Colonel Cott's coming
Because I remember I maybe put some money on Sage, and I was actually pretty happy about that, if my memory serves me correct. If you're talking about Jackson.
Yeah, I think it was
that
Sage, yeah.
Now, when you say put some money, is there a betting platform for the NST yet? Because Chris and I, big Supercross guys, you can bet on that stuff legally. How can we make this happen, the NST in the future?
Believe it. We have looked in deeply to it, and apparently there's some questions around the validity of like how the house actually feels confident in, running like the matchups. So I think that maybe Baumel should like just go ahead and
Baumel could
front
run
the
this.
house money.
Well, we live in Utah, which unfortunately is the worst state on planet Earth for gambling, and you can't gamble even if you have a VPN. But what we do, allegedly, you can do, we don't do, air quotes, but you can do is like just office pools. Like we live stream not live stream, we watch the live stream. We have a bunch of people over. We do like you would in football, and we just do it amongst our peers. And
Got it.
That's
But
kinda-
theoretically, we could drive to Wendover and create
Yes.
a corporation
Yes.
and place some bets through Wendover that maybe Bombhole Inc. betting could be
Yes.
run through.
Bombholing betting. Yes.
So I'm just saying, like, we need to explore it. You need to explore
Dude,
this. when I say
offshore
this.
account, Cayman Islands. People do this all the time.
All right, amazing.
Excuse me.
Anything else for Natty Select for the finals? Anything else we should talk about before we move on?
I mean, look, if you are in the area of Revelstoke around March 10th through the 17th, like we are actually promoting people coming up and seeing this thing in person. We have a venue of epic proportions. It's going to be like a Mad Max Thunderdome kind of feel.
Yes.
We got the Jumbotron. It's, I think the intensity and like proximity to how you can watch that event, come to the finals. We got 2 days of live event running this year with the finals.
Incredible. So, and they're both this year. There's not going to be any post edit. They're both live, broadcasted, everything.
Both live. Yep, both live.
That's
Qualifier
huge.
day, finals days. We have some format changes that I think are going to be
Cool.
real exciting. We're going to put an exclamation point on taking a format that has allowed people to maybe run a bit more cruise control and trying to have a run that they're like, okay, I just need a good run that I can land to get through this individual, and then I'm on to the next round. We've like kind of reshuffled the format to make it where only Hail Mary runs
I
are
love
making
it.
it.
I love it. You're speaking my language. I'm a make it or break it competitor right here.
Yeah.
Never won an X Games, qualified first 6 or 7 times. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go make it or break it, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yes.
I think that this year's going to be spicy.
Incredible. We can't wait. Silk, let's get into a section of the show we call Nitro Turbo Takes. Should I play the...
Yeah, let's hit the little jingle.
I'll hit the jingle. Yeah, here we go.
Welcome to Nitro Turbo Takes. Brought to you by Nitro Snowboards and Canoe Alliance.
Nitro Snowboards has been building snowboard products, boards, boots, and bindings for over 34 years and has one simple mission: to inspire people to get out and go snowboarding and support their local and global community by supporting the shops, the organizations, and the people who are dedicating their lives to this.
All right, Nitro Turbo Takes. All these questions are submitted by Canute Eliason. And
Do you guys know Canute? You guys familiar?
Oh yeah,
Big fan.
Canute's-
Yeah.
yeah, he's a G.
Big fan.
big fan, big head. He's the best.
Big forehead.
Yeah.
Big head.
So all these questions are going to be directed to either you individually or as a group. And keep it quick if you want or elaborate. It's kind of loose. First question's for everybody. What's the scariest / hardest trick you did today at Woodward Park City? I guess Bjorn, you can skip this one if you
didn't
want.
go.
I didn't go. Dude.
What
I still
about you?
get
Went
to-
yesterday or a couple days ago?
a couple days ago.
Did you get bust anything down on that 3-pack Shakur?
We hit a little 3-pack Shakur. I would say some of us stoked on like a backcourt 540 upside down. Kind of bring some out of the closet.
Woo! A little misty. I didn't go over 540 today. I just cab 5. Not really proud of my stuff. Probably cab 5. Sorry, office guy. Trav?
Probably that board slide.
Did you hit a boardy with sharp edges?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
scary.
yeah. No, bottom jump, holding speed, front 7. I don't know, trying to get the nose to tail. I'm going back up to get it tomorrow morning.
There you go.
It's firing. Before you got there, it was like really fast and good too. Good first thing in the morning.
All right, this question's for Bjorn. What do you say or do before you drop into something gnarly in the backcountry?
Oh man, I usually like kind of sing a little tune that's in my mind, or like whistle this kind of little native chant type scenario thing.
Sick.
Maybe a little let the good times roll.
We'll let the good times roll. That happens for sure. Yeah.
All right, this one's for Travis. What's your favorite trick you have ever filmed?
Oh, good question, Kenny.
Yeah.
Favorite trick I ever filmed was 4th phase year, cab double 12 nose. And the reason it was a favorite for me, it was first tracks on a jump that was huge. It was a huge jump with a tiny little, like maybe 10-foot sweet spot that part of like hitting kickers for the first time, a lot of it's like the speed. Do you nail the speed? Like is a big part you do this again and again and again, and you take pride in being able to dial in your speed on a big question mark jump that's consequential and huge, and you have a run in that's like halfway up the mountain. And I actually sat down on that trick, full white, couldn't figure it out, but the speed I got was so perfect. It was frankly the best trick I feel like I've ever done.
Whoa.
But I sat down on it.
Yeah.
But you did nail this. I'm picturing the trick like black kind of knees on your pants, maybe red pants, nose grab. Yeah, you got it. Did you not get it for the part? Or something similar?
I think I got that trick on another jump.
Oh, got it.
So that clip didn't make the movie. Is what you're talking about?
It didn't make the movie.
Well, that's your
Oh,
favorite of
okay.
all time. Just because you landed in the sweet spot.
I just for whatever it was.
We're talking freaking back rodeo 7 Chads. We got like so many lands.
He's like,
The one that
I
got-
landed in
the
the
one that
sweet
got-
spot, but didn't land it. But it was the best one I've ever done.
It just, I don't know. For me, it was fucking huge. And whatever. I don't know. Maybe, I guess Chad's front 10 was a pretty good one for me too.
But just to clarify, because you
Pyramid.
just because you knew exactly where to drop, you landed right in that sweet spot. You did the trick the way you want to do it, but you sat down.
Because it was
Because
consequential.
and you went huge.
Such a crazy run in.
I get that.
So hard
Yeah.
to get the speed right. It was one of those things where it's like everything about it made you want to knuckle, because if you went a little too big, you were fucking dead.
Right.
And having the balls to like,
You put it there, right? Right in the
put
sweet
it to the right spot.
Yeah. Respect. Because for the listeners, that literally comes down to like, you're either over jumping if you hiked 5 feet too high on some drop-ins, or you're knuckling if you're like 5 feet too low on the in run. And my dad always said, 9th grade physics, it's like, distance, timing, whatever. And I'm like, oh, I kind of was
But it's all
snowboarding a lot in
feel.
ninth grade. So, but yeah, it's all
But
feel.
that's the thing too. It's like today I haven't ridden decent sized park jumps in a while, and I was just going through the basics because what I'm trying to do is calibrate my speedometer half the time. Just be like, oh, yep, that speed's right. Bing, So anyway, we derailed. But
All right, next one. This one's for you, Chris. Who would you choose to go up against in natural selection?
I mean, it's some dogs. I think everybody pretty much has me covered. But I guess thinking back to last year, if I'm going to throw somebody under the bus, you know what? I'm going to preface this with saying that this person is one of my favorite snowboarders, one of the people that blows my mind every time I snowboard with him. But I just don't know what the fuck happened to them in natural selection finals. And I'm going to go against Blake Paul because I feel like he made it to the finals and then he got too baked and forgot where to go or something. Cause we were all like, he's incredible. But if I had to pick one person to go against,
Blake Paul.
I'm just, yeah.
That's the one.
I'm sorry, Blake. He's probably going to be like, that's so fucked up, dude. But, any rate, that's my answer.
All right, this one's for everybody. Describe what snowboarding means to you in one word.
Filter.
Freedom.
Filter?
Filter the freedom, he says.
Lens. Yeah, the filter of
I see.
little perspective.
I like filter.
Yeah.
One word. That's hard. What do you got, Bjorn?
We were going with freedom.
Woo!
Wow.
Freedom for me. Freedom of not paying the mortgage or wonder if the kid's smashed his car or what's going on. Just freedom.
This is a corny answer. I'm sorry. First word that popped in my head was erection, but I can't say that. I'm going to go with outlet. It's bad. I'm sorry to the listeners. It's just a bad answer.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's an outlet, but you need a few more words to really.
It's a good outlet.
It's a good outlet.
Yeah.
All right, next question's for Bjorn. What keeps you fired up these days to continue to push your limits snowboarding? Where does the motivation come from?
Oh, man. I think the motivation's just always been there. Why? It's hard to pinpoint why. Kind of just to prove to myself that I can accomplish what I want to, visualize. I'd love to go to bed at night and you guys, sometimes you have the snowboard dream where you hit a jump and you're just going forever. I like to go to bed and picture snowboarding. And so I don't know why I'm talking about my dreams, but I think being able to still live those dreams. So go to bed at night, think about, oh God, it'd be fun to ride that line backwards, or it'd be really cool to do a backside 5 and then go off of that thing and then hit a cab 7 or whatever. That gets me juiced. And to me, it's, it's take care of your body and just keep her going. I don't know.
Great answer.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well said. This one's for Travis. What's the longest distance you have ever jumped on your snowboard?
I'm going to throw out an unconfirmed 250.
What?
Dang.
What?
Nice, I like it.
Beast mode.
Wait, where?
I can
AK?
see that.
What are we talking here? That's an insane number, dude. 250?
I don't know. It's not insane. Look at Chad's
I'm not saying it was landed. All right.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. It doesn't have to be landed, I guess.
Yeah,
I just look. The Chad's Gap overshoot. I think someone
yeah.
ended
Oh
up
my
trying
God.
to
Got
I
it.
think
Yeah.
they measured
Chad's
it
Gap,
at
got it.
200.
Yeah. Got okay.
And I think I've had a few just overshoots up in AK where it's scale's just different.
Yep.
And you're going fast and you ollie over a roller and it just goes and goes and goes and goes and
Yeah, I mean we're Travis Rice. Yeah,
If anybody's gonna do
anybody
that,
else says that in that chair, I'm calling bullshit though. Because that's dude, I'm sure you have. I'm not. It's just. It sounds crazy that number, but I'm sure AK when you're hauling ass.
I mean, there's a few, where it's you're trying to dial in. You got endless in run and a wind lip, and I've had some overshoots that are just fly like an eagle.
We need it to be measured on your goggle. You're you're in the air, you got your screen. You're cool, I'm at 198, still going.
I'm just saying, if the Chad's overshoot was 200, I feel like I've had a couple ollies that were that and some.
Respect. Yeah.
Not saying they were landed.
Yeah. Noted.
Valid.
Let the records show.
Yeah.
Not landed. Okay.
This
what else?
next question is for Chris. What is the longest distance you have ever jumped on your snowboard?
Oh, God, don't ask
Parentheses,
me that.
not trying to burn you here, just
That is a
curious.
burn. That is a burn. I mean, dude, I've never been
you
to.
don't have to land
I've been
it.
to Alaska, but I went to Anchorage and slid down rails. Like, so for me,
You've been to Canada. You were pretty big up there when we were up there.
yeah, I've hit some wedges, but I feel like probably I feel like I've gone to Super Park and hit the jackers. I don't know, what are those, 90 or something? Nothing to write home about. Like, I've hit some big park jumps, but nothing that it's probably 80 or 90 or.
Kind of dodging a little bit.
I mean, that's just.
That's respect. That's good.
I've hit the dogs at Super Park where you're puckered, you know? So.
Yeah, which often they measure to the knuckle and you're landing
Yeah.
20 feet down.
Yeah. Probably like 90 would be maybe
It's
it.
pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
All right, next question's for everybody. Would you want your kids to become pro snowboarders, given the progression and level of where it is today?
No.
Really?
I'm just thinking of my son.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's a funny, blunt answer to go no, because I'm setting him up to follow whatever wherever his heart goes. He might want it. I got no idea. You know,
I got an idea. He's got your DNA.
Yeah. What are we talking about, Trav? What are we
He's
talking
gonna be
about?
like, he's gonna be a sender in life for sure.
yeah, I think when I say that, it's more aligned with like, you seen the professional snowboarding going down in half pipe and big air? Like, wow, what's going to be happening in 20 years?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we came up, it's like, I could get to 900. Now the kids are like, so 2340. I'm like, I just learned a 180. So yeah, I got a long way to go. It's a little different than when we came up for sure.
It's gnar. Yeah.
What about you, Bjorn?
I mean, yeah, for me, like, because my kids are quite a bit older. You know, Travis is, how old's your boys?
Yeah, he'll
2?
be 4 in a
4.
month or 2.
So, yeah, they're 19 and 22. And the 22-year-old Bear, he absolute ripper, never really wanted to be pro or cares about that side of things, but still slays it. But yet, we went and hit Pyramid Gap last year, and he just wants to, instantly get upside down over it. I'm like, wow, he could be pro if he wanted to. So I just never pushed them towards that. But if they want to go that route, cool. Mama Bear's like, no way. She's like, supports it, Kristen. And then Micaiah, on the other hand, he's younger and has some sponsors and is like kind of pursuing that route right now. And it's definitely a bit, it's like a bit nerve wracking because you're like, dude, just, can you put that helmet back on, please? You know what I mean? Like, it's just little things. And obviously, how gnarly it is. They know how gnarly it is, but it's not, I look at it also like, they don't have to be quad corking 2340 in their way to the X Games podium. Like, if there's ways to carve out your place within the snowboard industry, whether they're, pro or not. I mean, if they want to be pro, you definitely have to take it to the next level. I'm like, dude, get into splitboarding at a young age or something. Like, make that cool, to the whatever. So I support it. I'm here for it. But again, I'm not like a soccer dad, like coaching them. Like, yeah, my kid's going to freaking make the final, like, let's go. But they're motivated. And Micaiah is super motivated. He's, going out in the backcountry and wants to build jumps. And, we have a little like rope tow set up in our backyard and smashing rails and doing all that stuff. But it's nerve wracking, especially with the streets, because he's like, they're going to street spots. And I know what that's all about. And I'm like, dude, can you just wear these knee pads? No way, that's not cool, Like, I'm like, you want a career? It's a career saver. But, what does dad know? So, whatever.
Wait, who else has he been riding with? I feel like what other legendary pro's son has Micaiah been riding with?
Oh, Jeremy Jones' boy, Crew.
I was thinking that. The two
That's crazy.
spawn of 4M8 kids have been riding together.
Yeah, Crew comes over and they shred Brighton together and they're up at Woodward and, shout outs to those guys. They're, they got the passion. They're just having fun though, but they have some raw talent. And so send it, boys. See what happens.
Yeah, I got a 3-month-old boy, Chip. It's hard to say with a little nug. I think I'm kind of like Travis, where whatever they're into, if it's hockey, if it's intellectual, if it's snowboarding, we're just gonna foster his interest, and if he's into it and wants to do it, we'll support it. But we don't read kids' books. We actually watch That's It, That's All at night, and we slow-mo and make sure his fundamentals are good. I have been trying to give positive affirmations, and I've just been telling him, you're an athlete. You know, I want him to believe it. I'm trying to reinforce some confidence at a young age, but we'll see what happens.
Beautiful answers.
I picture Chris, sorry to derail one more time here. Picture Chris like having watched every Supercross, like Jeremy McGrath is the king. This is your path in life. You're going to be there, son.
I'm telling you, though, I think dirt bikes is his path because the first time I felt him kick, we were at Washougal. I was racing out there, and the bikes went out for practice. I touched my wife's belly. He started kicking like crazy when he heard the dirt bikes. And then same thing, like he doesn't ever, we don't watch that much TV, but for Supercross, when we watch it, he's like my wife, he's in. And like anytime he hears a dirt bike, like in the womb, when I'd fire my dirt bike up, start kicking like crazy. So he could be a Supercross racer. We'll see. But also, you know, we'll see what happens.
He's shown a lot of promise.
Yeah.
All right, this question's for Bjorn. In your opinion, how should people vote with their dollars to help support or contribute to the snowboard community or culture?
Wow, tough, big question there. How should they vote with their dollars? Like in regards to supporting certain politicians? Is that where this is going? I'm semi
choose your own adventure. You could go wider, or you could
too.
you can talk about specific brands and stuff, shops.
Gotcha. How can I make this not about our brand Cardiff to support us? I'm just kidding. Or the bomb hole. Run through the wall. They will give you all the good things if you elect them, right?
Run through a wall smelling salts. Yeah, vote with your dollar. That's rider owned conglomerate.
I mean, I still yet confused on the question. Voting for the dollars in what regard?
Well, I think what you're getting at, right, is like being a participant, an active participant that has influence within like a cultural thing like snowboarding. Like it matters what products you
buy. Spending your money at like a rider-owned company,
or don't go into the shop and try on a pair of boots and order the shit off Amazon.
Right.
Ooh, good. Exactly. That's a great reference. Great reference.
That is like the lowest. Consumer move right there. Like you interface, spend half an hour with like experts in the shop, getting all the data, and then you're like, oh, maybe I could like save $10 if I freaking pop on Amazon and just buy it.
Right.
Where it's like, come on, you're an active member in this. Like, take an extra second, decide what brand you feel is like connects with you or is giving back to the overall culture, and like that's your vote. Where are you gonna
I like that. Yeah, I concur on that. I think the biggest thing is like do your research on what are these brands, what do they stand for, like who are you really supporting. If it's a big company that's maybe been in the ski world for 30 years and then makes snowboards now because that makes money. Like some of that stuff's easy to see. Like I'm a big, fan of like kind of skate culture and early snowboard culture. And the snowboard brands that have been around that are like stable, that are like 20 years old, that are still here, like a brand like Union, right? Like, yes, they've become the, one of the bigger brands and stuff, and they have a lot of great product in the market, but like support them because dude, they've been here since the beginning doing the right things with the right riders, and I think that's super important. Our culture is pretty small and our community is pretty small, and once you're a part of it, it's like go for those underdogs, those guys that have been here for a minute, because we're just trying to carve out a niche and support a lifestyle. No one's really in the snowboard industry to like get rich, you know what I mean? We just want to make like funner, better experiences for people, at least me personally, and what I do. So that's what I try to support.
Trav, you got anything to add to that?
I mean, just an amen. It's like, remember, it matters. Your decisions. What kind of gloves are you getting? You gonna order a sticker? Like, what shop are you going to? Like, all of those seamlessly very inconsequential elements add up to literally supporting brands or industry, product flow cycle. Like, it fucking matters.
Banger.
Beautiful. We got a question for Travis here. Going back to you. Bar up or down?
Bar down.
Nice. Nice.
Used to be a bit more bar up. I don't know.
I respect it.
Looking down.
Like that. It's also a great hockey term when you got a puck, right? And you go off the crossbar on the top and it goes down. That's also called bar down, which is maybe the best feeling in hockey. But continue, I derailed.
Chris, we're going back to you. We got a question. Do you go backside or frontside board slide to test going sideways on a new feature?
You can go boardy. You go backside board slide.
Backboarding,
Safer.
nice. Yeah.
Do you take a grinder to your board these days?
No.
File, or you're going straight sharp edges?
I take the littlest bite. Like mine as well be out of the plastic. I just, for my own personal, but it's certainly not. I don't run dull boys. The only time I do that is when I'm like front boarding a rail, like a kink rail in the streets. And I'm like, I don't want to worry about, like, other than that,
Yeah.
I like a little bite.
Nice. Travis, we got a big one for you. Which film of yours is your favorite? We got a couple options here. We got That's It, That's All, Art of Flight, Fourth Phase, or The Sleeper, Dark Matter.
Well, if we're going other than Snake Milkers, because I would throw Snake Milkers
Snake Milkers was
right
classic.
on the top there. Water to Wine, I was a heater. Each one is its own unique little. Which child is your favorite? Tough to answer that question.
We need a name though.
We're going to require an
you're,
answer.
You're dodging a little bit.
Yeah.
If I had to,
All right, folks, Valentine's Day is coming up, and we're giving away 2 Bubs Naturals VIP boxes and 2 Nitro snowboards. It's really easy to enter. Just go to the pin post on Bombhole's Instagram and tag a buddy in the comments. Bubs will DM you to confirm your entry. We'll pick a winning comment at random and send you and whoever you tagged your own VIP box and snowboard. It can be your buddy, your significant other, your insignificant other, but hopefully it's somebody that you like so you can actually go snowboard together. The Bubs VIP box has pretty much one of everything Bubs makes. We're talking collagen, we're talking halo creamer, coffee, apple cider vinegar, a beanie, and travel sticks, a bunch of their product as well, and then 2 Nitro snowboards. Those are also getting given away. So winners must be 18 years or older and located in the United States. And thank you so much for Bubs and Nitro for making this happen. Good luck, folks. Let's talk about Joey's Footbeds by Joey Stanko. He's a snowboarder and a master boot fitter, and he cares about snowboarding, its culture, its community. He came out for Bombhole Cup last year, and he is an incredibly passionate person, and he has a company that you should support. Let me tell you why. He's backed with over 15 years experience in the field of boot fitting with a daily job of preventing pain in snowboarders and skiers' feet. Also, sidebar, a lot of my friends who are pro snowboarders run these footbeds, including myself, and absolutely love them. So these footbeds feature Netsu 3D technology, providing your feet with arch support, dampening, and comfort, meaning less unwanted pressure in your ankles and knees while locking in your heel. Midfoot comfort technology allows you the maximum room for your toes and the width of your foot. These footbeds mold naturally to your feet when you ride them. They're also fully and adjustable and tweakable by your local boot fitter. So jump on joeysfootbeds.com and order yourself a pair today. Joey's Footbeds is a proud supporter of Bombhole Cup and a Patreon member. Support the little guy, Joey's Footbeds. And to be honest, he has one simple goal with this product, is to get people in the right gear so they have the best possible experience snowboarding. That's true. Joey cares, man. So check out joeysfootbeds.com. Get some custom footbeds. It'll make your snowboard experience that much better. You spend a lot of time in these boots. Get the right footbeds. Sidebar, Big Air Jair's FaceTiming me right now. Should we just take it?
perfect. Good,
Yeah.
good scapegoat
You
out of
got
that question.
so
Yeah.
lucky, Travis.
Big Air.
Snake Milkers.
Yo, what's up? Can you hear me?
Nice.
Big Air, where are we?
I'm in Miyako, Japan. It's fucking nuking outside right now.
Amazing. You getting clips?
Not really, dude. Did it like last week. I met up with Blake and Spencer yesterday, but they're filming some North Face shit. So, but I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm kind of over it. So, hopefully in Canada next week, maybe. But
Dude, I built a kicker, hit it. I bet it reset. If you guys are looking and digging, trying to find some A-play stuff to do up in Miyako, There's a jump on the ridge up there, just sitting there.
The one above the abandoned lift, I saw it yesterday. A little bit buried.
No, it's above like avalanche barrier face.
Oh, really? All right, we'll go find it today. Send me the pin.
Yeah, it's definitely reset. It's a clippable kicker, we'll say.
All right, pin me.
Pin me, he says.
Send me the pin.
These young
Jesus.
generation. He
This
just
young-
spelled it out for you.
Oh my
I built
God.
you a jump. Come on,
Well, even
Jared.
the Abbey barrier face, there's like literally like 1,000 of those on this one resort. Like, I can spend all day hiking around looking for it.
Yeah, I'm going to be nice to the local community and not completely spell it out, but you know where it is. It's just a 20-minute walk up there, and it is Punt City. Some good hang time. Nice plane or run out, which is something you don't.
Hunter's Paradise.
It really is.
What do we serve
All right.
up on that thing, Trav? What do we serve up?
Let's see. I got a
Back seven nose.
cap 5, switchback 5, and then I got a front 3 to like 20 foot into a backy off a pillow directly after. There's a combo.
Combo platter.
Yeah, Sharka hit a nice front 3 off of it.
Sick.
Big Air, I have a note here. Later in the show, we're going to cover it, but since you FaceTime me, let's talk about your new project. Mechanical Bull, I believe is the name. Congratulations. You were freaking kind of like went Buck Chulo AK. There's kind of a new big dog on the scene. How we feeling after that thing came out?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I mean, just had like some extra footage that was like never going to see the light of day after the Arcteryx video. And yeah, I got to edit it with Jake. And yeah, I'm just stoked. It was pretty mental trip up there. And yeah, kind of just more of like a dream come true to spend that much time and get to like film more of like a real full part up there.
Can we talk about when you almost got sloughed off of could have been death exposure toe side situation?
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah. No, that was the first sunny day of the trip. And it was like we had like waited for a week in the clouds already. And then like rode some shit in the morning, kind of like lower angle, and like everything felt all good. And then got to some bigger shit. And then I kind of had like last pick of lines out of the three of us on this like ridge. And I got up there and it was like, fuck, I pulled off this other shit because it was like way bigger than I thought. And then I was sitting there and then pulled onto that. And then I was like, oh God, this is fucking huge too. And then I felt all shitty about it. I was like, I felt so weird about it and like wanted to call the heli to be picked up, but basically just like didn't want to look like a pussy. And like, yeah, I don't know, ego and pressure and whatever. And I just wrote it. And then, yeah, just like the slough in the first turn just like ran so fast. I mean, I thought I would like be able to get away with it just going super light on that first one. And then it just like multiplied so quickly. And yeah, it just caught me at the bottom and then tried to like plow through it. But it was like huge cloud and just like barreling river of slough and tomahawk. I got my edge back and then it just like, yeah, it all came down after me. I was like, holy fuck. But that was like the first like real run of the trip, honestly. And then yeah, I was pretty shook after that, but I couldn't just block it out. But now I'm like, yeah, I probably would have died, I guess.
I saw the clip this morning actually, and yeah, by the way, respect on the mechanical bull, turned out sick. But dude, for the listeners, what he's talking about is he drops in on this face and basically the slough starts following him and he almost gets sloughed off this looked to be 100-foot cliff rock face, and then you kind of do get dragged out through the bottom of it. It's one of those, oh my God, guys in Alaska, he's got some heli budget, we're going full send. Like I was juiced watching the video and then saw that clip and was like, dude, homie almost got smoked. So we're glad you're still here, bro.
Yeah.
Nice work on the part though. It was solid.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely like a real lesson in humility and stuff management. But yeah, definitely glad I didn't fucking die because I probably would have.
Last question, because we got a bunch of stuff to cover real quick. Was it all doors off 16?
A lot of it was, yeah. I mean, there was like, yeah, Willem was shooting doors off and then Jonah was shooting Barbie from the bottom, but yeah, all 16.
Damn, burning some budge like the good old days. Shooting out of the chopper, huh? Not a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Just dollar bills, like the sound of $100 bills.
Yeah, just get rid of it all.
I must say, when I watched that, though, I was like, cool. Here's a kid, young guy, who's on a brand that's giving him heli budge and saying just go buck wild in AK. And it felt to me a bit like a coming-of-age part, Jared. Like, it was sick to see you on those super steep spiners and jumping around and getting, front three, back sab, like all that stuff. Like, now, this wasn't just leftovers. You kind of played it down like, oh, yeah, we just threw some stuff together. This was like pretty. Guys put some time together. It's a bunch. Like, it was sick.
Dude, thank you. Yeah, that's kind of what it felt like too. And I really appreciate coming from you guys for sure. And yeah, I'm just stoked to get the opportunity to fucking ride up there and hopefully get to do some more this year for sure.
Are you going to be a Natty Select this year?
Yeah, Travis put me back in again.
He put himself in. He put himself back in by making it to finals last year, so he's guaranteed a spot.
I qualified it.
Yeah, I hear that Jared's on a freaking tear this year.
Hey, you got Travis covered? Yes or no?
Yeah, I got him.
Yeah, love the confidence.
Yeah, I mean, one of these days that freaking dream might get realized.
We've been he's like the fucking Frenchie from Talladega Nights.
Oh yeah,
we kind of got robbed.
Perrier guy, what's his name?
Are you the French guy?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the Frenchie?
Yeah, Pink. Yeah, we kind of got robbed on a battle a little bit last year. That was unfortunate. I thought we were going toe to toe.
Yeah, that would have been nice. All
right, thanks for the impromptu call, Big Air. We're gonna get back to the show.
Who's the biggest?
No worries. Thank you. Talk to you guys later.
Later, Jared. Quick one. Who's the most competitive competitor on the tour? Because Jared seems like he got a little.
He's got some fire.
I'm trying to, I know what you got. You got the steamroll in you.
Yeah, I think Jared is definitely one. I think Sparky's kind of a sleeper. Mick Mo, because I don't think that. Like, I don't think that he's that stressed out coming to the event, right? But I think, like, it innately, like, you don't get to where Mark's been without having an internal, like, fierceness.
Yeah. 25 X Games medals or whatever he has. He likes to compete.
Jesus, yeah.
Nils has laser focus.
Nils. I think Nils spent all year, like, getting ready. And I think he talked about it before the event last year of just, like, his training regiment, right? Rolling in, which did him well.
Kid's a problem. Okay. So we happen to catch up with Jaylen Hanson. She got a bronze medal at X Games Street Style, 18 years old. So got a chance to catch up with her yesterday. Let's see what she has to say. All right, we got Jaylen Hanson in studio. What's happening, Jaylen?
Not much. I'm hyped to be here.
Love it. Coming off of a huge bronze, I believe, X Games?
Yep, bronze medal.
How does it feel?
Feels pretty crazy. I don't think it's really set in yet. It kind of just felt like, oh, another rail jam with my friends. And then now I'm like, oh, we were actually at X Games.
That's so cool. I think about your mom. I've always seen her at all the events. She's been really supportive. How did she react when you got on the podium?
She was pretty excited. Both my parents were there actually, which was pretty crazy. I think it's usually been one or the other at most of these events traveling with me. So it was really exciting to have both of them there, but also experience it kind of on my own, being in this different space now that I'm like at school and stuff. So, yeah.
So how old are you?
18.
Damn. I feel like you've been in the game for a minute though, because I've seen you at Red Bull Heavy Metals since you were like a kid, basically.
Yeah. I think we first met when I was like 15 at Duluth.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you did well in that one, right?
Yeah. I got second at that one.
Yeah.
That was kind of my breakthrough for all these street style events.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do you feel like these rail jams have played a good role in your career?
I would say so. I really like competitions. I think they're really fun. I'm kind of a competitive person, more with myself than other people, but I like the adrenaline and like the competitive aspect of it. But it's also cool because we're all just friends, and it's like exciting to see other people do well too.
Cool. I got to ask this because I follow you on Instagram. I don't know anything about your soccer life. It seems like you have this like completely other life where you play soccer and you have snowboarding.
Yeah. I feel like it definitely felt pretty separated throughout high school because I like went to school, played soccer, ran track, had kind of this mainstream type of sport life, and then like the other half was snowboarding, and I would like drive half an hour to 45 minutes away, and I had all my snowboard friends and like that whole separate world. It was actually pretty crazy at my grad party to kind of see worlds collide. I had like snowboard people, soccer people, like teachers. It was pretty crazy. But yeah, it's definitely, I mean, I love soccer. I play intramural now at the U, just kind of.
I was wondering if you were
Yeah.
playing for the school or anything.
Yeah, I just play for fun. It was really fun this fall. Yeah, it's fun to play and not have like all the pressure of an actual season, but like still have a competitive aspect of it.
So you're a bit of a weapon on the soccer field is what you're telling us.
I try.
Do you think that you know, with soccer you got to be training and like, you know, snowboarding is like a lot of people are just kind of lackadaisical, maybe getting
Yeah.
baked, cruising around. Where do you think that mentality helped with snowboarding at all?
I think so. I think it helped me come at it as more of like a sport mindset at first, and that really helped me like progress quickly, and it helps me to progress now. But I think transitioning into like the more lifestyle side of snowboarding, because it's such a big part of my life outside of just being a sport that I do. I think that's like kind of what makes it so cool. It can be competitive, but it can also just be fun. And it's just like, it's such a personal aspect. Like soccer is such a team sport. You have to rely on other people for like success. And with snowboarding, it's like kind of all up to you. So it's cool to have both.
Cool.
Yeah.
God, 18, she's wise beyond her years,
Crazy.
Silk.
Crazy.
Cool. Let's go back to X Games. I would love to just kind of. I was watching it on the couch, and it seemed tricky with the format. How there was, I think they were calling them qualifier or what were
Yeah.
they, playoffs or
Yeah,
something.
playoffs.
And so you had to like do a qualifying run, and then it was 8 riders, and it got cut down to 4 riders.
Yep.
Seemed like there was some strategy. How was that as a rider?
It was kind of weird, honestly. It was just such a short jam, too. It was only like 10 minutes. So we only had 4 or 5 runs. And I think it was pretty crazy because the course had a lot going on. There was a lot of transfers, a lot of options, but you really had to pick and choose kind of right away what you were going to like hit or not hit, because since it was so short, you couldn't really afford to fall or to just hit a feature just to hit a feature. Like you really had to pick and choose your tricks knowing that you could land them. I also think it was definitely weird having like such a small amount of people in finals, because we're used to just jamming with like 8, 10, 15 people. So it's definitely different having like the finals and then a qualifier when there was just not that many of us there to begin with. But it was definitely different. I think there's a different format at every single street style that we go to. So you kind of just experience something different every time.
Yeah, it seems like they're experimenting, trying different stuff. I would chalk that one up as like a loss in terms of, because a lot of times it seemed like you do the qualifying, like, especially for a person, I'm a spectator, so I'm watching it, and then you make it into finals, and then you just do the same stuff that you do in finals.
Right.
So I think it didn't make for a great show where it's like, why not just put every 8 people like we've been doing for years? You throw 8 people in a final,
Yeah.
you watch them all do their best stuff.
I would agree for sure. I think a ton of the girls agreed about that. Yeah. Because you're going to see better tricks if
Yep.
it's a jam format and like people are able to warm up to the course and they're not scared to fall because they know they have 10 more runs. We definitely all kind of wish it was like just a longer jam. I also think it was weird having only 4 people in the final, because like just one person's not hyped. Because like for me, I'm like, I got third. Like anyone on the podium is going to be hyped.
Yeah.
And then it's just like one person. So I think if they wanted to do it in that format, they should have done like a 5-person final or like a 3 and just had like people battle it out for the podium.
Yep.
But yeah, it was different. I get that they're trying. I think it was definitely better than last year, just having it be like an actual official event. They promoted it a lot better. The course, I think, had more variety. But then obviously the format was different. So I think it'll take probably a few seasons for them to figure out how it's like gonna work.
Also, though, one thing that's huge, I think that's really cool, is just X Games giving more street riders, rail riders, a bigger audience, a bigger platform.
Definitely.
I come from that world, and I think it's kudos to them for making it an actual event.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. I think it just puts us on a different platform that like most people might not even know the street riders if they're only filming, because the general public doesn't know that's like a thing in snowboarding. So I think it's super cool to have us have a little bit more publicity and kind of maybe get some of the riders that are a little bit underrated or that only really film and put them on a bigger platform and
Yep.
get that exposure that they might not get otherwise.
Straight up. Yeah, I love it. So you're in the finals. You're like, what's going through your head? You're like, I can get a medal. There's only 4 of us. Like, were you tripping in that moment?
I think I was honestly just so happy to make it to finals, because in my head I was like, I only have to beat one person to get a medal, which is kind of how it worked out. But I was definitely super focused I mean, I'm a person who likes practice, and I wasn't feeling like 100% confident in practice. We had 3 days of practice, which was almost like too much. So I was like a little bit nervous going into it, but like during the warm-ups, I like did my backflip pretzel like second lap, and I was like, okay, that's all I needed. Like, we're good. But yeah, I was definitely, I mean, even just making it to finals like in second, I was just so excited to get through the first round because I feel like that was the hard part. And then now I was like, okay, I just have to do all those things again, basically. But yeah, I was just excited. And then it was fun to kind of like focus up. I feel like going back to that competitive aspect, I definitely get into like a very focused mindset. If I really want it, I was like, I want to be on that podium. This is what I got to do. This is fun, but I also need to like get my tricks down. So it was kind of fun to like have the aspect of being up there and having fun with everyone and just like laughing. We're all homies and we all want everyone to do well. But then also when I'm dropping, like I want to land my trick. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, you rode really well. That was great.
Thank you.
Also, Iris was like locked in like Terminator mode. How was watching that firsthand?
It was cool. I mean, I love Iris. She's progressed so much within these like past 2 seasons too. It's been really cool to see her kind of confidence and like just her style on a board is so sick. And she's also such an awesome human. She's so fun to be around, and her energy just like raises the whole experience for all of us. And I don't think she even looked at the leaderboard because she was in complete disbelief when like Telma and I were down at the bottom. We were like, you just won. Like, you have an X Games gold. And she was like, what? And we were like, yeah, like you've been in first this whole time. Like, it was sick. It was cool just to see, like, she was just having fun. And like, we were all kind of in our own zone and not really like paying as much attention to like the scores moving around. But it was cool to like experience that with her and just be like proud of her in that way too.
Cool. So you're done riding. You're on the podium. You get the medal. Is it a surreal experience? Like, how are you feeling at that moment after?
Yeah, it was definitely weird. I didn't really know how to feel. I think I was like so excited, but I also just like it didn't feel real. And I can't imagine how Iris was feeling having the gold. It was fun. We like went up there and the Girl Scouts like gave us our medals. That was really cool. And like I signed like a bunch of their sashes after. It was really cute. But I think it's definitely kind of an odd space for me to be in because I don't feel like I'm this like, I don't know, like famous pro snowboarder or anything like that you would expect people like to be on the podium with. Like, I think especially just like having the general public, like they just see someone on the podium and they're like, yeah, those are all pro snowboarders, you know? So it was cool to be up there with like Telma and Iris too, just 2 really good snowboarders. And I felt like I was just excited to be standing next to them. So that was cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. And for the record too, we were going to include you in the group chat with Travis and Bjorn, but why couldn't you join?
I'm going straight to heavy metal tomorrow. Yeah. So, yeah, I've got class all day. Got to get a little school in and then going right to heavy metal. So.
And also didn't skip school to come do group chat.
I thought about it. I really did.
I respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now that I know Travis Rice was in here, maybe I should. Yeah. I mean, I was like, maybe I should just not go to class and come do this session. But I like was already missing so much school in the past couple of weeks, and it's like definitely a priority of mine. So I was like, maybe I can come in on another day and still make it work. So I was hyped that we were able to do this.
Cool. How's the transition been? You know, Midwest rope toe kid, and you know you're in high school now. You're in college, living at the dorms at the U in Utah. How's that transition been?
It's been pretty crazy. The first week was like pretty intense just because I don't think it like set in that I was actually like moving across the country, and I'm like super close with my family and stuff, so it was definitely weird to be away from them, but I also knew that Salt Lake was where I wanted to be. And like I also got really lucky with my roommate situation, so that's been really sick. My one roommate is like a free ride skier, so she understands the like traveling competitive aspect of it. And then a couple of other homies I have snowboard or mountain bike, so they understand it, which is really sick. I think that helped with the transition a lot. It's also just been fun to go to school. I have like a really chill schedule, so I've honestly been snowboarding more than I did at home. But I definitely miss the rope toes. The first couple of weeks, like at Brighton, I hiked like all day, every day. I was like, I'm not taking that chair to hit 3 rails. But now I think I'm getting a little used to it. It was funny. I went home for Christmas and I rode the ropes for 3 days and my arms were so sore. My friends were making fun of me, but I was like, it's valid.
That's what happens when you move to Utah. You get a little soft. You
Yeah.
get sit on the chair too much. You get spoiled with conditions.
I wear goggles way more than I ever thought.
I was at last year at Buck Hill before heavy metal. I'm wearing a helmet and a goggles.
I remember that.
And I'm looking around. I'm like, I feel like a boomer right now. I
Yeah.
noticed not a lot of goggles on the toe.
You were full kitted up. That was awesome. I loved it. I mean, whatever you're comfortable in, you know? I meet people who are like, I don't understand how you take a lap without goggles.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't understand how you wear goggles every day. It's crazy. But it's also just like what you're used to. Like I'm used to just like not having any, not even having like shades on, just like not having anything. So, but it's definitely been a transition. Like you need them out here. So
Yeah, if it's hammering snow, it's a
yeah,
little
you
bit
can't-
tricky.
Can't really run no goggles.
You're gonna want goggles.
Yeah, I think Beresford's been more hyped to have the dang logo up there too.
Yeah.
I'm always like, sorry, I'm wearing shades again.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love it. One thing I want to talk about too, we were just in Mammoth. You just got on 32, so congrats on that. That's
Thank you.
incredible. And then you, there was in front of the Yodeler, not at the resort, but you know they had this little jib backyard park set up, and you know Joe's hiking, Stevens is hiking, everybody's hiking this thing, and you were bell to bell. Silk, she did not stop snowboarding the entire time.
Couldn't be me.
And I literally was like, it made me so happy to see like Jaylen is just like, you didn't stop for like 4 hours. I'd love to hear you talk about that.
That was funny because I did not plan to snowboard the whole night. Me and Veda went up there and we took a couple laps kind of earlier when everyone was just kind of getting into it. And I was like, oh, I'll take a few laps. I like took a couple slams, not too bad, but I was like, I'm tired from this whole week. Like maybe I'll just hang out. And then I saw like Stevens and Joe and a couple people going for that like one-footed tail press. I was like, oh, that looks fun. Like just mess around on the box. Let's do that. And it was so much harder than I thought. And then Joe was like, you're going to get into the battle. And I completely got into the battle. So I was like doing that for like 2 hours straight, which was honestly just really fun. It's fun to do like something different that's not like as scary, but still really hard. And like something I've never really tried before. So then I was just doing that and I was just having so much fun. I kept like telling my homies that were on the side, I was like, oh, I'll take one more lap. And then I just ended up hiking like till 9 or whatever it was. But it was pretty fun to like just sesh on that box for a while. And the energy of everyone was so crazy. And then I kind of went over back to that flat bar at the end and got a couple just like of my like favorite tricks down. So it felt good to end on those.
Front board pretzel. Whew.
Yeah. A nose press felt good too.
Yep.
That's always a feeling
Yeah,
good.
you got one of the best nose presses in the game. I gotta say, Jaylen, what's the ticket? Asking for a friend. What's the ticket?
I don't know. I mean, I think I learned them from Ryan Paul at the beginning. He used to coach me when I was younger, so he got me into the press game for sure. I think it's something about me being pretty left foot dominant in my snowboarding. I cannot tail press for the life of me. I don't know how Pat Fava does it, but I'm working on him. But yeah, I don't know. It's a fun trick. I think sometimes I can like nose press a rail better than I can 50 just because it's like one pressure point. I don't know if that like works for other people too, but
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
yeah, I don't know. So when I see like a long down rail, I like immediately go nose press instead of 50 because it's just like, I don't know, lock in better.
Good one. It's like Reynolds has the front side flip. Jaylen's got the nose press.
Yep. Everybody got something.
Yep. I got to talk about Sexton. Joe Sexton, owner of Public Snowboards, for those who don't know. You ride for Public. Joe's a dear friend of mine. How's Joe as a boss figure? It's got to be a nightmare.
It's awesome. No, I love Joe. He's the best. I feel like we've had a really good relationship. It's nice that like the warehouse is in Minnesota. We've had a lot of personal, like physical connections that not everyone has. Sometimes you're going through a rep. Sometimes like you might never meet the person that you talk to until years later of you being on the brand. So I think it's been really cool. We've gotten to like actually snowboard together a lot too. Even just like being at Mammoth was so fun. Having that like rider to rider connection and not the like boss to team connection. But yeah, he's the best. I mean, I feel like he always tells me that he just wants the best for me, and he's like been really supportive with Public, and we both know that it's like a small brand, so he maybe can't give me as much as he'd like to, having like other people on the team too, but I think it's cool being in a little bit different space than some of the other riders, doing like these contests and stuff. Not everyone else is doing that. And I think it's like good for the brand to get a different publicity. So it's been really sick, and I'm really hyped on this graphic. I'm freshy breaking it in today, so
Cool. Where are we riding today?
We're going to Woody's after this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that. So after you win the medal, anything crazy happen? Anybody reach out? Did you have to do interviews with like the newspaper or anything, or was it a chill situation?
It wasn't too crazy. I did sign someone's shoe. That was sick.
Nice.
Like a white like Air Force like Nike shoe. I was like, whoa, I can't mess this up. That was cool. And yeah, just like being with all those like young like girls was really sick. I did get a text from my dad that like later in the week once they got back, the superintendent of our school district had my photo up on like a PR meeting or something like that for like the whole district, and my kindergarten teacher like sent me a photo of it, and she was like, "This is so sick," whatever. That was really cool. I think it's cool, like some people who have like known me, like teachers and stuff that have known me since I started doing USASA stuff, and I would go to nationals in April and I'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna be gone for a week, I'm gonna be snowboarding," and they're like, "Okay, yeah, whatever." And then now it's like being at X Games and all these other events, it's like cool to see that they're still supporting and still really excited for like that journey that I'm on.
It's killer. Congrats.
Thank you.
Bright future ahead. We get any video clips? We planning on filming any parts? What's our schedule for the rest of the winter?
I definitely like to. It was really hard last year. I didn't hit a single street spot except for in heavy metal, which is a lot different than going and picking out my own spot. But yeah, it was cool. I was able to film a video a couple years ago with like Ella and some of my other friends. That was really fun, and we learned a lot about the street world. So I'd really like to get back into filming. I think it's been hard this year, traveling a lot again, and there's not a ton of snow anywhere really. But I'd really like to get like a full part out and film more with just like different groups of people. It's definitely like a goal of mine. I really want to get into that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be looking forward to it. Thanks so much for coming and chatting with us, Jaylen. That was awesome.
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate you guys having me.
Okay, we'll get back to the show with Travis and Bjorn. All right, we're going to talk about Herschel Outdoor Equipment. You may have seen them. We give them to all of our guests that win Name That Video part. Pack them full of bomb hole merch. They are sleek, and they're introducing a brand new performance line for travel and the outdoors. They got Alpine inspired and designed with multi-functionality for the first chair or last minute flight. I personally use all Herschel gear when I travel. I use the roller bag. I use the big roller bag. They got great backpacks. And the one thing I like, you can take your backpack and slide it over your roller bag, and you can be a true pro traveler. All their stuff's really well made, and they're building a team. They got Arthur Longo and the Dust Box on board already. So if you're interested in getting some sleek new travel gear, check out Herschel.com. All right, listen up, bombhole people. I'm going to talk to you guys about the Grande speaker from Turtlebox that they just sent us, and this thing slaps, dare I say. It's very loud. It's incredible. So it's essentially a bigger, louder, more badass speaker with the same durability as the Gen 2 seen behind me here. It's a 10-inch waterproof woofer versus the 6-inch on the Gen 2. It's got two Class D amplifiers and a 1.25-inch waterproof titanium tweeter. And this thing bumps. It's got a maximum volume of 126 decibel, and it's got the brand's signature low distortion outdoor sound. It's got party mode, which allows you to wirelessly sync 100 plus Grande speakers together via Bluetooth 5.4. We're talking 100 speakers, all connected. And one thing that I have to say is that the battery lasts forever on these things. Really impressed with the battery life. If you're interested, they are available now for pre-order on turtleboxaudio.com, and they're shipping mid-February.
All right, we're going to take a quick break with a message from our good friends over at Woodward Tahoe. That's Boreal Mountain for you. And if you don't know, snowboarding was pioneered on Donner Summit just around the corner. And if you want to keep the tradition alive, we recommend you get some laps in over at Woodward Tahoe. They got the best park in all of Tahoe. There's no denying it. If you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. Well-groomed, creative parks. You can't get enough of it. And get this, they got night riding, the only night riding in Tahoe. Their chairs are spinning with full lights, great visibility until 8 p.m., 7 days a week. If you want to get your reps up, just like the pioneers did, head on over to Woodward Tahoe.
All right, great interview with Jaylen Hanson. Bright future for Jaylen. She's an absolute ripper. And she's going to heavy metal this weekend, which is happening. By the time this comes out, it will have already happened. So maybe she will have won or podiumed or done well at heavy metal. Well, we don't know. All right, we're going to get into Run Through a Wall trivia concept. Well, first, I'm going to play the theme song.
Welcome to Run Through a Wall Trivia.
Okay. Travis, how we doing?
This is Mick the Brick Bear.
Mick, is that our new mascot? Is this a new mascot?
Have you ever seen a bear sniff?
No.
Dude, it's sniffing nonstop.
Okay. I love it.
Terrible eyesight, I'm told. A lot of their world reality is formed through their nose.
Nick the Brick Bear.
Mick the Brick Bear.
Mick the Brick.
Yeah.
It's our new official Run Through a Wall mascot.
Wow.
As of right now.
Nice.
So the concept is basically you got a buzzer in front of you. First person to buzz, and preface: if you buzz before I finish asking the question, I will stop.
So you better be confident.
You better
if
be
you buzz
confident.
before you stop.
Yep. Also, Silk is the judge of who buzzes first.
Yep. Make sure I got a clean line of sight between my eyeballs and your buzzers. Looks like we're good.
And basically, if you answer and you get the question wrong, you got to do a smelling salt. Head on over to bombhole.com. Get yourself some Run Through a Wall smelling salts. Best in the business. Okay, so I want to also preface this with Bjorn was already here when I started these. I put these in my computer in 3 minutes. They're bad. Here we go. Question number 1. Who won men's slopestyle in the Sochi Olympics?
Men's slopestyle. Sochi Olympics.
Question, Bear.
5
With the knee
seconds.
grab. Frenchie.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It wasn't Todd. What is his name?
Sage Kotzenberg.
Come on, dude. The Colonel.
Thinking China.
Yeah. Now you got to.
I was so focused on China.
You're talking about. You're going to say Max Perot is what you're thinking.
Yes, that's what I was.
Yeah. All right. Now you got to
you
smack
gotta
us
do
all, or you don't
something.
have to. You can choose.
No,
to.
he has
You
to.
can choose to.
You can be frowned upon if you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
There it is.
It's a blessing to run through a wall. I'm telling you.
Okay. Next question. What 2 riders hit a flat rail off of a backcountry cornice in the movie Technical Difficulties?
Ooh, 2 of them did. I mean, I like the salt anyway. So if I mess up, I know Kevin Jones hit
Correct.
a rail.
One other.
One other that's challenging.
Could be male, could be female.
I know. I was gonna say Terradikitis.
That's
but
correct.
It was.
There it is.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
I had
All right.
Kevin, but I didn't.
Yep.
I didn't have.
Tara did 50-50 tail grab.
That's right.
And KJ did a boardy.
Who put the rail up there for bonus points? Anybody know?
I would say
know.
Kurt Heine would
Kurt
be my
Heine.
guess.
That's a Heine tool
Yep.
all day.
Okay, next question. What snowboarder did a massive bomb drop out of a helicopter that was much bigger than expected?
Bjorn?
Mike Bassage.
That's correct. Okay, which rider did a 2340 in the most recent X Games?
His name is Zhang Wang or Wang? Wang?
It was Tiago.
You guys are both wrong. You both got to do a salt. It's Hiroto.
Hiroto.
You
Oh,
meant to
that's
say
right.
Taiga Hasegawa is who you're thinking of.
Hiroto. He won. That's right.
Yep, Hiroto. Easy to remember Hirotator. It's an easy way to think about it.
Aromatics. Very
Okay.
nice. Very nice.
This one's more in your wheelhouse, I think. What rider did a switch method over the Baker Road Gap?
Devin Walsh.
Sweden.
That's correct.
That's
Oscar
right.
Sweden.
Sweden 2 or 3 years ago. The moment he said switch method, I was like, oh, that's Dev. That's the boy. But yeah, I don't even think he hit the Baker Road Gap.
Yep. So it looks like you got to smack another one. Okay. This is a new gen. New gen. Oh, I'm in a Chad's Gap sandwich here. This is fantastic. Couple of Chad's Gap legends.
Dude, this spring, it's going to be a big one.
What's going on? You guys
You're
going-
hitting it. Join the club.
I got a GoFundMe for my hospital bills. All right. So what rider did a backside 1080 over Chad's Gap?
Sage.
Yeah.
You did a back
He did a
12. You did a back 12.
He did the 12.
Yeah. Watch that cord. It's going to keep
Sorry.
cutting out.
Which I will say still, I think is one of the heaviest tricks. The back 12 was one of the heaviest tricks ever
Absolutely.
done. in snowboarding.
Absolutely.
Oh, I know who did the back 10. Richard Giro, tall guy.
Yep.
DC Super
Yep,
6.
come on.
Why can I remember his name? God, I know everything about. I can picture him, high five him.
There's a Young Buck song called "Get Buck." Maybe that'll help you out.
Sebby the Buck.
Sebby the Buck. Yes.
Sebby the Buck's movie was insane.
It was an incredible
Sebby
hint.
the Buck. Yeah, that was a kind of a game.
But you know who I was talking about.
Next question. A couple Pyramid Gap dogs here. Let's see if you got this one. What rider did a 1-footer over Pyramid Gap?
Bodeman.
Who got it?
Oh, sorry.
I was going Bjorn.
Okay.
I was going Bjorn.
Are you keeping track?
Yes.
Who's winning right now?
Bjorn?
Really? Okay.
Yes. 4-1 currently.
Wow.
Oof. All right, we only have a few questions left. Travis, you're going to have to focus up here. Who won men's half pipe for the Salt Lake City Olympics?
That was Bjorn again.
Ross Powers.
That's correct. Bonus question.
I got the hand on the table here. There, Bear, to get you a little quicker. There you go.
What rider had a mohawk during those same Olympics?
That's Travis.
Icky.
Heikki Sorsa. Okay. That's actually all the questions I have. I'm sorry.
Doesn't the last question count for like 15?
Count for 5? Yeah.
Okay.
Now you know how much of a competitor Travis is. He's like, I want
Trivia
that
in the
thing,
bomb
damn
hole.
it, he
Very
says.
serious.
Okay. Well, this actually leads me into while I got a couple Chad's Gap guys here, like, I mean, let's see. Let's go through the tricks. Let's go through the roster. You went cab 9, back 7.
Cab 9, back 7. I got a front 5 lean, which we never put in the video
Okay.
or archived or whatever.
What did your brother do? Front 5?
He went front like cork 5.
Yep.
He almost got the front cork 7.
Yep.
But yeah.
And then Trav, what do we got? Back road Sev, cab Sev,
Cab Sev.
back 3, 200 feet.
200-foot back 3. I had a switchback 3. Switchback 3, which was one of my favorites.
Is that in there? Am I tripping?
Believe. Trying to
No,
think.
you did switchback 5.
No,
That was
I
in
did
there.
switchback 5 and switchback 3.
Really?
Sick.
The switchback 3 was actually. I'm trying to remember if the actual cover shot was the 3. I think the cover shot. Fuck. Anyways, yeah, I got great switchback 3. That was like my favorite trick.
And you guys were hitting it with heli bumps, right? Like you guys were riding to the bottom and getting bumped up by the heli?
Yeah, basically, the heli
Sick.
being like right down. Well, we were talking about the problem of like, look, it gets great light at the end of the day. It's a freaking long hike.
Yeah.
Like, how are we going to session this thing? And then sure enough, it was like, oh, right down the street, there's hey, do you guys mind giving us a couple bumps?
Where was the LZ? You were like riding all the way down the gulch and getting picked up at the bottom, or like right at the bottom of the jump?
LZ, I love that jargon. Load zone for the unfamiliar. Sorry,
Yeah.
continue.
It was, I think you would hit it and then you'd ride down valley just a little bit. I don't know. There's like a flat spot, a little down valley.
On the right side, yeah. down
Yeah,
there.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then we found some landing up above it. So you actually got a nice little like ride into it.
And also, didn't you back rodeo?
Back rodeo 7
Sev?
nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the ender of pop. And then the
Yeah.
techno starts coming in. Yeah.
And I gotta say respect on the switchback 3. That might be. I tried to switch backside 180 it and absolutely died. Did a switchback 270 and just ate ground. Yeah.
How's the compression in that bad, Larry?
It's not terrible. The problem with the jump is you reach the point of no return when you roll over the little knuckle that's in the trees, and you can't.
Yeah,
You
it's just
can't
like
shut it down.
full
It's
commit.
your
It's-
commitment.
You're going so
Yeah.
fast. I think the trickiest thing is depending on how you build it. Like, there's not a ton of hang time. Like, it's kind of a freaking bullet. You know, you're not like boom. Like Pyramid
Yeah.
Gap, you got a little bit more like hang time to get it around, and that's why I was tripping on Sage's back 12. Was like, you do not have a ton of time to like.
You're going so fast too in the air.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going like, I would say 10 miles an hour faster than Pyramid.
Yeah.
So I remember we had a radar gun when we hit it. Had to go 55 at the takeoff, or you were like coming up
Jesus.
short.
That's
And,
fast. Think about that in your car. You're like cooking.
It's pretty fast.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's got the like accelerator.
Yeah.
Right before you hit it.
Somebody like tried to pull out, maybe
Ben Ferg. Ben Ferg
yeah.
landed in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
He G'd. I thought he G'd
Or maybe
out.
he
He
G'd out.
compressioned out. Yeah, that's
Right.
why I asked about the compression.
Oh,
Yeah.
but those guys also, didn't they have to kind of like remove the jump?
They built it totally wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, the build on that one matters. We actually brought up some timber.
Oh, a little lumber.
Yeah, we brought up I think some like 2x4 by like 16 footers because we were getting the little like chatters from doing slip-ins, and so we brought it up and we're using that as like on a diagonal to take out the.
We call that in concrete work. They call it a screed. So if you're doing finish work.
Yeah, we screed.
That's amazing.
We did the same thing, but now we had like an 8-footer. Me and my little brother like, go get this thing good.
Nice.
Just like shimmying the snow down. But the skiers brought up a 4x8. And they like had the 4x8 as like a
sheet of ply?
concrete form.
To form build it.
On the backside.
No blocks.
I mean,
you were talking about something earlier, Travis, when we were riding today. Can you explain this to the layman's about your new technology on building wedges at record speeds?
Yeah. So a quick kind of tangent. Ranyan DeLarge, who's park builder up in Jackson, who was our point man for natural selection up at Jackson Hole, like doing summer work, doing winter work. The guy's amazing. And he like invented this basically little form out of, lightweight kind of plastic material, like kind of a hollow ply. And it basically has like a little right angle on it, a couple holes in it for like getting your hand on it. And, you walk the snow down. And with shovels, or especially if you have like a push shovel, all you need to do is, everyone's just shoveling snow forward, and one or two people have this little like hand form that you just, slide the snow up, pack it, move over. Slide the snow up, pack it, and you kind of just like do this kind of brick motion, and you build it up, and you can build, building a bricked kicker, you can build a jump 3 times as fast. And next year, actually, Natural Selection's coming out with the Pro Form. We're making these things. So
sick.
Next fall, Pro
just to
Form's coming
clarify,
out.
you don't use it. You don't no longer cut a block or just
Dude, cutting blocks is a lot of work.
moving it around.
Yeah,
and
back breaking.
We used actually Travis when I was filming with him back whatever Art of Flight years or something. We would call them the Travis Rice blocks because they were like 3 times bigger than anyone can lift, and you got 2 guys like rolling them essentially. So I'm glad we can move away from that scenario finally with the Pro Form.
The Pro Form is
Sounds
just it's magical
You
how
have a
easy
can
it
you
works.
can you give me a photo so we can put it on the screen, because I'm curious about
sure.
how this thing. Yeah, I have an idea in my head, but I want to see what they actually.
It's
look
pretty
like.
sweet. Yeah, Ranyan patented it, so we're going to business together.
Are you guys have any interest in hitting Pyramid ever again? Because that one, I
That's a
don't think
fun
I'll
jump.
ever hit Chad's, but I'm open to Pyramid. It seems way chiller.
I failed at Pyramid last May with my kids, actually. Me and the sons and Ryan Flaska and Aiden Haskell. The fail was it was May 10th, and we brought 150 pounds of salt up there.
Oh my God.
And it was still, you could barely get enough speed to clear the knuckle. The other fail, the reason we built it is because it snowed 3 feet on like May 5th, and we started digging, and we brought a rangefinder up there. We started digging, put up the wedge. This is just like what they did wrong on Chad's Gap, Sage and the boys. We built the jump 98 feet from the knuckle. Most people, when they build Pyramid, it's like 70 to 80 feet. We kind of messed up there. We were about 20 feet off. So, yeah.
And it's hard to take speed into that.
hard to take
jump.
speed.
And the landing's like southwest facing, so it kind of gets cooked too.
Well, there was, for, again, May 10th, a little, numbskull over here thought we could pull it off. But there's bushes in the landing at that time of the year.
When
and
you
some
hit
rocks.
it, when you did front 10 on it, Travis, it seemed like it was midwinter more so, or like
It was spring. It was probably March.
okay. Because people never hit it in March. They're always like, "Oh, it's the end of the year. Let's go build." But like, it seems like the ideal time to hit it would be midwinter.
I agree. If you want
Yeah.
soft snow, I mean, yeah.
I hit it once midwinter, and it was pow, and then like making the in run is just like that's why people do it in the spring because you can get it consistent,
True.
and dialed in, and
Yeah, I think we were late March,
Yeah.
so it was pretty springy and soft.
yeah.
Stompy landing. Great jump.
Cool. All right, just to let you guys know, coming down the pipeline, we still have a call from Hailey Langland. We're going to talk about X Games a little bit later. We got a call from Todd Richards. We got some clips. But before that, we got some recent news. Scott Stevens recently left Union, and he'll be riding 32's new phase bindings. Thought it would be an interesting discussion. Really close friends with Scott. He rode for Union for 19 years. Obviously, a huge part of the brand. Probably, a bit of a devastating loss for Union. However, Scott's my guy. So I love to see that other brands are placing him at a really high value, and I love to see. I've been talking to him. He's been loving the bindings, and yeah, it's just one of those situations. Got an offer. One brand can choose to match or not match, and ultimately went with 32, and he's been raving about him. So, do you guys have any thoughts on that? Any tee-offs? Otherwise, we can just get into product talk about bindings.
I got 2 things on that.
Yep.
I'm a huge Scott Stevens fan.
Yeah.
The guy is he's whatever. Not many people get I think legend gets thrown out way too easily these days, but he's there. He's
Absolutely
forged his own craft. The guy is seriously technically talented. And then the other thing I got was actually heard through the grapevine that 32 actually got busted hacking into.
Oh, you told me about that?
What?
Yeah, there was a fully busted
espionage here.
Yeah, for hacking into
Are
some
you talking about
Google Drive account.
Scott's scenario, or actually did that actually
No,
happen?
actually.
Oh, it really happened.
Yeah, not just with Scott.
Oh, I thought you were being
Wow,
sarcastic.
for some like technology.
I think that's what they're digging for.
Yeah, it's a little
Cutthroat
spy
out there in the
situation.
binding
Spy
world these
situation.
days.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, respect to Scotty Steves, dude. He's carving out his lane.
Oh,
and I don't. As far as the union versus the phase or any of the new system stuff. So, are you going to talk about next?
Sure. Yeah, I think there's a great kind of blanket topic of bindings.
Binders.
Yeah.
I went to a vintage board show last night, and they had like the first clickers, and it just kind of. I was thinking about this ahead of time because. When the clickers, for those that don't know, it's like a step-on scenario where your boot just stepped right into this plate. And it was like, yeah, this is the future. This is going to be so sick. Everybody's going to be doing it. And it was a phase, if you will. No pun intended. And now you see like the technology of, you need the high back. You need that support. You need the base plate and stuff. I mean, I think it's pretty cool. It's cool to see stuff like kind of getting simplified for people. My little brother used it at DC like as a product manager, and he liked it. And he was like, hey, it was killer because I was getting my foot in and out for like the kids and stuff, but for me personally, reaching down and like strapping the straps, not an issue. But the phase system does seem kind of interesting, at the fact how you kind of like step through. I think it's kind of like half stepping. That's what I'm going to say.
It's a half-step system.
Because, you step on, you're stepping off, you step in, step whatever. Everything's it's a buzzword. I'm going to go with half-stepping.
Yep.
I haven't used it yet. You used it? You seen that stuff?
No, I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, it's really cool to see look 20 years ago at like where bindings were, and then look 20 years prior to that. It's a difficult, I would say bindings are probably one of the more difficult like elements to snowboarding. Like all the pieces, incredibly complicated, got to be the right flex. And then not to mention a lot of like proprietary components, like getting around a lot of like Burton components, like union component. There's like these legacy binding brands that if you're making a binding, you got to like skirt around all these other, IP elements.
Yeah.
But, yeah, phase looks interesting. And there's so many different ways to ride too. Like, a lot of different bindings have a great like use case to, whether it's phase making it easy. Like it's a little interesting because with say like the step on, which now, both Burton and Union license step on for Burton. And, there's a use case. There's legitimate people that are just cruising resorts and like, yeah, it hurts to bend over or it's difficult to like deal with the straps. And that's like a real thing. I think with both the phase and the, step on, like for me personally, I've spent so many years trying to take as much material off the heel cup as possible, because in POW, soft snow, you want a minimal, imprint when you're like on your heel edge in soft snow. And so when you get that built up, heel cup, that and is inevitable with both of those systems, for me, it's a little jaggy, but it's got a great use case. I've heard people actually say a lot of nice things about it.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting in the sense that you look at a snowboard, it's like been relatively the same for freaking 40 years or however long, right? It's for the most part the technology is the same. But I do think it's really cool to see in the one aspect of product that's being really, it's like really progressive, and all these brands are coming out. Like I just made a quick list just to kind of like, you know, you have Burton Step-On, you have Union Step-On. Nidaker makes this Supermatic, which is kind of a step-in system. You have a Flow step-in system. Solomon has a Shadow Fit, which is like a soft heel cup that wraps around your back, your heel. So it's kind of a softer feel. You got K2's back with the clickers. You got Clue, which is this crazy
I've seen
heel
some
cup
Clues,
still.
yeah.
I don't know about that one, but it's, you know, and then you got just OG ratchets. And just thinking about, you know, some people they want to get off the chairlift. Maybe their partner skis, their friend skis. They want to click in. They want to go down the hill. They got great options. For me, I always need one more click. Like before we drop into those jumps, like I don't think I'm so ingrained on one more click.
Right.
Like before I do anything, I need to just get that extra sense of security. It's like a nervous tick, where I think I'll always be ratchets. They work great for me, but I don't know. It's just interesting where we're at in snowboarding with this like crazy binding push right now.
I'm with Travis. I think there's definitely a consumer for all of that stuff, for step through, step off, step up, step half step, and whatever it is. Like, do your steps, get your dance moves on into your bindings in and out. Like, that's sick. But for like us guys that want camber under our feet and, you know, want to get that extra click and drop in and do our thing, I mean, I think there's more innovation that could happen within the boot integration into the binding, just as like the normal boot style, right? Like I did see one thing I saw with the Union boot is they have like kind of this, and I don't know if that's public knowledge yet, but Union is launching boots next season.
Yes, Travis, you're gonna ride them, right?
I've spent almost 3 years on the
Oh,
program.
no shit.
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But and I just saw it at a trade show. So I was pretty intrigued by it because to me, it looks like the thought processing of how the kind of the lower part of your boot flexes with your base plate and your the integration in the heel cup. That to me is like the biggest point of what could be innovated within the snowboard boots, you know. And it's always been about like, oh, you know, lock down your ankle and you got the pull on the inside and the power strap and like all these things. But like looking at like the geometry of how the boot flexes and like how it integrates to the actual base plate, and then of course the straps and stuff. But that was piquing my interest just staring at it. That's cool. You're riding for them. That's dope.
Yeah, it's been ever since DC cut me. No, it's been a assertive process. Spent a lot of time in Italy, and with the Union team. I mean, everything we've done with like Falcor bindings, but the boot's been a big one, and the fact that this is a completely re-engineered way to manufacture a boot, and a lot of consideration went into, you know, how do you build a platform that can service relatively easily this like myriad of use cases? Because there's people that want, you know, stiff as shit. Like they're just looking to, you know, put trench in on the early groom, you know, and then you have Scott Stevens. And then, you know, and there's this whole myriad of like, people need different things from different boots. And so the way that these new boots are manufactured, there's a lot of easily variable ways to play with stiffness and flex patterns. And my favorite component of it is, you know, when a boot line puts out their range, right? Say size 5 to size 13. In your classic, you know, stitched and glued boot, right? You kind of aim flex point wise for like 9, and then the bigger boots get a little softer, the smaller boots get a little stiffer. And with the way that this boot's manufactured, you can actually like just slightly alter the chemical composition and the hardening within the shell. And you can start to nail this, like the sizes themselves are crafted for the flex pattern that they should be. So you don't have to compromise into these like, you know, smaller kids and women's size to size 14 hooves.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more weight. You know, somebody that's a size 14 is going to be putting a lot more wrenching on a size 6. That makes sense. I never thought about that before.
You know, you said something earlier, like snowboards haven't really changed that much in the last 40 years. But now as we're talking about boots, I'm thinking about snowboards 30 years ago, Burton designed off a size 9 foot with a single radius side cut. So they all had these narrow waist widths, 24 9s or whatever. And now, and then, we went through this evolution of, wider boards, deeper side cuts, multi-radius side cuts, camber profiles, all these things to kind of flush out, how the snowboard should be. And then, carbon fiber, all this. Feels to me like we're now getting to the precipice on the boot bindings, like we did with all the wacky cambers. Where it's like, we're going to go like up, down, sideways, all around, serrated this, whatever it is. And now, like, it sounds like the way Union's approaching it, and I'm not just zeroing in on them, but that's the most logic I've seen in a minute. That's pretty cool because it's not just a size 9. Let's build off a 9. And like, now it's like, we can like cater it more to your actual foot size. Yeah. So it makes sense.
Quick sidebar. I'm on a cambered snowboard. Today you were on a cambered snowboard. What flex pattern? Do you ride camber?
I'm camber underfoot with a slight rocker in the nose and tail. It kind of like helps release the board in and out of turns, gives you that float in the pow.
That's on the splitty or the solid?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, just interesting. Yeah, you said you hadn't been on a cambered board in a minute. Is that it?
A minute, yeah, probably since like 2004.
And why
it's been fun. Well, we
now you're on a camber.
we did this little like I have my 20th year like T-Rice Pro coming out with Lib next year.
Sick.
And we brought back like the first graphic I did with Perillo. It was my second board with Lib. And wanted to just do like a little, for them camber it's C3.
I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they've got a new camber. It's camber just presents a little differently. It's fun. I love the feel of it in hard pack conditions. And park, it's nice because you get that elongated like flex, right? The entirety of the board is, flexing or awling, right? When you have rocker in between the feet, I think that you pivot quicker from edge to edge and it's less catchy. But it's like a tiny bit more impact. And with C2, with the normal air rate, you have that, second knee and the camber to the tail, but it's still like a little harder impact because you got that rocker underfoot when it's like awling and landing. So it's been fun. I've just the last few days been riding camber and
Straight up.
It's great. It's definitely quite a bit changed, evolved camber. But.
Straight up. Yeah, the big nice burgundy snowboard behind me, I'm not that tech savvy, but I'm loving this thing. I wonder what it is. Kind of like, and
camber.
I'm like, wow, this is OG camber, dude. This thing's going like soft OG camber, and it's nice. But I think in POW, I'm the same as you guys too. Like the Navigator that I ride it's got some of that kick underfoot that you're talking about. Nice for a good float.
Gotta have a float.
Yeah, I mean camber just technically in POW. I mean. The whole tail is pushing your nose under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a upside down banana or whatever. Like it's like that's the way your board wouldn't sit flat. It would have a little. Yeah.
But it's when you land or stomp something on a camber board, it feels real good.
Oh yeah. I feel like it used to be as I'm sitting. You guys are older than I am, but it was like give me the stiffest cambered snowboard and we're just gonna go straight at the cheese wedge and fucking chuck roast. Right? That's for years.
They were pretty stiff in the half pipe days.
I guess you rode for
sure.
Lib for so long.
Then they softened up, but yeah.
Yeah, I could never handle the stiff boards.
Yeah.
It was too limiting. It's like a super stiff boot where you just, what happened? I can't grab the hot plate anymore.
Straight up. Good stuff. Yeah, and then another topic I have written down here with bindings too, like split board bindings. You got a couple different options. Obviously, I think Spark R&D has like a lot of people prefer Spark in the split board space. And then you have Karakoram, and then you have Union split board bindings. What do you ride?
I'm a Union guy. I run the Union Chargers. They're just like, if you're familiar with a normal snowboard binding, like the Union Atlas would be kind of like my daily driver or whatever. And they have kind of that same build, right? Same chassis where you've got a metal heel cup and plastic base plate. Now, like the Sparks, the Karakorams, the Volets, they're generally like all made out of metal and just have a different flex point and kind of a different feel. And I would say like a lot of the split boarders, 90% I would say, are on Spark. Karakoram. Spark's kind of the biggest, but Karakoram, Volet, whatever. But for me, like, I want more board feel, and it's not to take away from those brands, but I just feel like I can ride my same snowboard at the mountain, feels the same in the backcountry is what I personally want. So a little more board feel.
I'm in the same ballpark all day. But I do love like Karakoram and Spark, like great companies, great people behind that. And there's a use case. Like, what are you focused on, the up or are you focused on the down? Where do you want to make your compromise?
And for the listeners that are maybe a little confused, I think that Spark, especially like Spark R&D, is like first transitioning when you get to the top, switching over your bindings from ski mode to, downhill mode, snowboard mode. It's probably the most efficient.
I mean,
No?
pretty
Debatable.
much my
Debatable?
backcountry partner, Neil Provo, Sparks rider. And
Okay.
it's like we're the same speed on the transition.
I think-
switchover is nominal. Yeah.
I think when Union was still pin, but now that the system's pinless.
Yeah.
But I think it's the best user experience, maybe downhill, right? That is the Unions, arguably.
If you're
just
used to
depends on your it's
needing
like-
flex for
yeah.
freestyle, if you're trying to like throw out poke out a method, if
Yep.
It's kind of like step-ons, right? Like there's a customer that likes that for a certain reason. The guy, and what I see is the more rigid binding, maybe you're more of a mountaineering style. You're more trying to ride couloirs. You're like, or just they're lighter weight slightly on the uphill, and they've just kind of supported the category since the
Yep.
beginning.
Great
Also,
brand.
and
Great brand.
yeah, like Will Ritter's awesome, and in Karakoram as well. Those guys are sick, and Bole, of course. But yeah, again, back to I just want some flex, a little more flex, I want to do some butters and freestyle, and yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, Union's a little more helpful for the insecurities that come with not potentially getting a poke or tweak right. A lot of people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're whaling a couloir,
And you could be on hard boots too. That's a whole other thing.
I mean, that's the
Oh,
quickest.
damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hard boots
Like
is
that.
if you
Yeah. I have seen some come off though, like straight
Hard
up.
boots?
Well, not the boot, but the board.
So you just lose your board? It just goes down the hill?
I've seen it a couple different times on some failures.
Because there's no stopper. There's not a ski
no
stopper.
leash, bro.
Yeah, there's no leash.
you know.
I mean, if you're long legged and you're looking to get 6,000 to 8,000 a vert and you're just in it to grind, like you should look at a hard boot setup, like a more rondonnée setup.
Hard boots are easier on your ankles. Like the side hilling in split boarding can be
I can't believe you guys are making arguments for hard boots here on the show. It's fucking insane.
Dude, if you're a mountain man, you're crushing a lot of granola.
I think
Getting them hard
I think you
boots.
get a little older and you stop kind of
Yeah.
judging people's approach.
They're just out
and you
there.
more just appreciate like everyone's kind of
tool.
got a different inspiration and
Just
why they're out
another
there.
Tool.
I like it. You guys are open-minded.
I don't even hate on skiers anymore. Can you believe that? I'm
That
like
is
full
crazy.
like buy equipment, gender
Because you guys
equality
make
over
skis.
here.
You guys make skis.
You know why
right?
we make skis?
You're a ski company.
Yes, we are. Do you know why? Because look at when I was coming up in the 90s, we saw all these like awesome snowboard brands. There was literally like hundreds of brands that went defunct because these big brands that were ski companies like, oh, snowboards, we'll start making some money on that one. They've reinvigorated our whole culture. Like sick. And over time, they've contributed into the space, but they're still like skiers over here, snowboarders over here. And where I go out in the mountains, dude, I got some ski homies they're just people, man. Why can't we all just get along? You know what I mean?
It's a good take.
Yeah.
It's a good take. Okay, I like it. Amazing. All good companies. One thing I do have to say is Bombhole Cup, we have the splitboard contest. It's you splitboard up the course, the bank slalom course, and you switch over, and then you got to snowboard down, first one down. We had to ban hard boots because
they're quick.
It was just the guy finished like 2 minutes before everybody else.
Right.
So, anyways,
It is more of it's like
It's more about the up.
It's a race up that thing too, you know? I think there should be a split board category, just ride a split for a time. I think you would see people show up just wanting to ride their split boards down the
Are
course.
you trying to create a category so you can win? Oh, you won last year. Didn't you win? Did you win the overall?
I
Legends
won
division?
yes. I didn't win overall, but you don't have an overall.
For Legends division, we did.
You
got the big
You have
trophy.
legends and you have pro and you have all these
Yeah.
classes, but you should also. What if like you just give the fastest time? Because what
Fastest
if
time
like
of the day?
a 13-year-old
Good call.
like beats freaking
we'll do
Nils
that this year.
Mindick or the fastest guy, or whoever
Time of
that
the
is.
day.
Time of the day.
Time of the day.
Because how
Silk,
this
make a
course
note
has
of that
changed.
so we don't forget.
Making a
during the
note
day.
right now. Yep.
You know what I mean? How the course has changed. Could be snowing in the morning.
Yep.
It's like, oh, dude, that little kid went first. He won.
Trevor, you ever going to come to Bombhole Cup?
Let's get a date drop. What's the date drop this year?
April
You guys know?
5th and 6th.
April 5th and 6th. He's probably going to
Prime
be.
AK time.
Yeah, he's going to be an
That's
AK.
prime.
He's probably going to be cab nining a freaking Winlip.
He'll be like halfway through that Ferrari heli budget that he has. You're like, damn. How's it going? It's pretty good. It's day 27. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm jealous, obviously, clearly here.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't complain. Budgies are drying up out there, though.
Drying up.
It's a
everybody.
desert.
For
It's a
Travis,
budgie desert.
I got to go deeper on this. For Travis's dried up budget, no, it's probably like, yeah, I got a Lambo this year on the budgie. You get the newest Porsche.
I'm only going to be able to
Ferrari.
get 40 days in the heli this year. It's been a tough.
You should come to Bombhole Cup, though. We'd love to see you.
I mean, it looks all the time.
Yeah.
It's
really
it's
does.
the only competition that is better than the natural selection in snowboarding.
Wait, would you
I'm not
make,
going to debate you on that.
would you make him race the Legends or the Pro? Because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, you could pick whatever you want. So
Okay.
I race dirt bikes, and they have age groups and everything, right? So you're racing people in your age group. So this year we did a 40 plus X Pro category, and Bjorn won. And it's just kind of like we had Seth Hewitt, we had Jeremy, we had Daryl Mathis, we had Bjorn, all these icons that we grew up on, where they're not against Yuki Kadono going back 12 on the jump, like.
True.
No, I'm not trying to. I know that you don't like to be put in that category because you're still
Oh, no.
obviously killing it. But
I'm 64 and washed. So.
any rate, okay.
Yeah, no, just put me in Jared's category.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, he wants to go against. One last thing about the phase systems for listeners. I think this would be interesting. So, Nidaker Group, they own Jones 32, Rome, and Battalion. So all of those brands have that phase system, which is essentially the heel cup articulates. You slide your foot in, you just do the ankle strap. So the team, I was on their website trying to be a good media guy so I could, know what I'm talking about. They got Stahle, BMJJ, which is Big Mountain Jeremy Jones, Victor De La Rue, Chris Bradshaw, Blum, Cody Warble, Tor Ludstrom, Joe Sexton, Pat Fava, and I think now Scott Stevens. So anyway, if you're wondering about this phase, Jones, 32, Rome, and Battalion are all using this system. So I figured I'd just provide some information for our listeners.
What about the other Nidecker brands? Yes. Was it Yes Now?
I don't know. This is just
Lobster?
what I found when I Googled. Oh, no, Yes is, so
Yes
they've
and
combined.
Lobster.
So
Yeah, they're
Lobster
one.
is
Yeah.
now Yes, basically.
But Yes isn't doing it.
I don't think Yes is making bindings, but I'm not an expert in that department.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
I
I don't want to just give out fake.
Brand.
I don't want to
Yeah.
give out fake news here.
Copy.
You know what I mean? I don't want to speak on what I don't know I'm talking about.
All right, folks, quick science lesson. Mammoth Mountain is made up of 25 small volcanoes that erupted between 50 and 100,000 years ago. These massive lumps and bumps have created the perfect environment for snowboarding. Cliffs, wind lips, chutes, gullies, steeps, cruisers, and just about any type of terrain can be found within 350,000 shreddable acres on Mammoth. But what the Unbound Terrain Park crew brings to the equation with their park creations is truly another level of fun. Let's dive in. We're talking 10 parks, 100 plus pieces of steel, and 40 plus jumps at any given time. New to terrain park riding? Try Wonderland, a beginner rider's best friend with small jumps, ride-on boxes, and creative snow features built on a smaller scale. Are you an intermediate ripper looking to dial in threes and progress a bit more on the metal? Forest Trail is the perfect park for you. Keep an eye out for Todd Richards, big fan of the jump line. I'm also a fan too. Love that jump line. Now, South Park is the spot you'll find advanced features, a long park with incredible flow. There's the Transition Park for those looking to lay it on edge, the Snake Run, playgrounds, hemlocks, and of course, the Big Boss Park main park. We're talking video part-worthy features, progressive jump lines, tech steel, and a slew of snow features that meet the gold standard. Finally, Mammoth has an 11-foot and a 22-foot pipe. Simply put, Mammoth is really, really fun.
All right, we're going to take a break and talk about onX Maps. If you're venturing into the backcountry, you need onX Backcountry. onX Backcountry is a GPS mapping app designed to help you explore the backcountry with confidence. That's one of the bigger problems, people getting lost out in those mountains. So with onX Backcountry, you can scope lines like never before by utilizing 3D maps, guidebook route descriptions, and high-quality satellite imagery. You can visualize your perfect run. onX Backcountry gives you the tools to interpret the information you've gotten from an avalanche report into a backcountry tour plan. Access avalanche reports, slope angle, and aspect shading, and their revolutionary avalanche terrain exposure scale layer to help you determine what terrain is best picked for the day and what terrain to be avoided. I think it's really cool how you can look at the mountains and see what aspects are sketchy and which ones are safe. No self-service, no problem. Download the maps before heading out, and you'll have all the tools you need to stay on track, no matter how deep you venture into the backcountry. Don't wait. Download the app today. Save 20% with code BOMBHOLE20. Again, save 20% with code BOMBHOLE20. Ride smarter, safer, and bolder with onX Backcountry, and stay safe out in those mountains. Let's keep it going. Let's talk about X Games. X Games recap here. We are going to take a call from Hailey Langland.
Hello.
Hails, Chris from the Bombhole here. How we doing?
Up, Chris. I'm good. How are you?
Good. You got Travis and Bjorn in studio. And we wanted to pick your brain on how it was as a broadcaster for the first time at the most recent X Games. How was your experience?
It was really cool. It actually was a really good perspective for me, you know, being an athlete and competing at that event for so many years. You just kind of like forget how much actually goes into it. And I basically like worked the event all week. Like I was on my feet from 8 a.m. till 8 p.m. And so now I just have a whole newfound respect for people who not only announce, but the researchers that are, you know, researching everything and anything about the athletes and all the TV stuff that goes behind it. Like there's so many moving parts to these competitions that I think a lot of athletes don't really think about. And it just made me think like every athlete should take a year and like at least do that for one event so they could see like how hard it is to actually get a smooth show.
Absolutely. Now, pretty wild event, this most recent X Games. Maybe my first topic might be format. What did you think of this new format where they started with the playoffs and then they went to finals, 8 people down to 4?
Yeah. For the girls, it was 8 people to 4. And then I think for men, since there's 10 guys, they cut it in half. So 5 men went to finals. I think everyone leading up to the event was kind of like, they had their doubts, you know, and I think for good reason. It just it added a whole new amount of stress on top of it. I mean, we do contests like this all the time where you have to do a qualifier and you make a final, but that's a much larger like cut. You're going from, for the guys, like 60 guys at a World Cup to, you know, the top 18 or 10. It's like a much bigger cut. And you're already going to an event where it used to be a final, 10 guys, 8 girls, just straight final, you know, ride the best you can. And then they add this qualifying playoff situation on top of it. But I think it was pretty obvious from the jump, like they were expecting people to maybe do, you know, not as crazy, like basically not finals runs in a qualifier, but it's X Games, and that's exactly what everybody did. Everyone just kind of like threw their hardest run at the beginning just to make sure that they made it. And I think that kind of bit them. It just added a lot of like buildup for something that wasn't there. You already saw all the runs, so it was basically just watching the same runs over and over again. And so I think we definitely saw the cracks in this format, but you know, it's snowboarding. We've had the same format forever. So I think something had to change, and X Games has been the same way for a long time. And so, yeah, I think, you know, just trying to find new ways to make it more interesting and change it up a little bit, but they definitely need to sort the format out, I would say, for next year.
Absolutely. Well spoken. Well spoken.
TV
You're
host.
catching me on a high from last week.
Well, if you're talking format, let me just ask one thing. Hailey, Travis here. And first off, I was so pumped to see you hopping and extending arms in exhalation. You look healthy. You look good.
So
How are you
much
feeling?
trouble for that.
You well.
Thanks. I felt really good. I felt good in that moment, and then I've actually been off my feet for the last 3 days because of the knee pains I've been having. But yeah, in the moment, felt awesome. But
Nice. And then you probably got
definitely
like
not
10
worth
text messages of like, hey, easy.
Yeah, I forgot Hackett was right behind me, so that wasn't the best look.
Well, it was great to see you on there. So with the format, actually we were having a little chat about this earlier with Chris here, and it seems it's something that we've come across a lot too in natural selection where, the format and what you're asking for the rider or athlete to lay down. I think a lot of it has to do with how, like, what is the level of risk and how critical and how like legitimately gnarly is it that they are doing? And, everything from, like, I remember seeing, I forget who it was, but, one of the skiers, came up and was interviewed like during the big air, how you feeling? You're shaking. He's legitimately like, I'm fucking terrified. Like, you think like doing these types of tricks is like something we want to do? I want to do the fun. This is terrifying.
And then you did a 2160. It was that guy. But yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and stomped it. But like, okay, just for a little context, like a natural selection, right? In the snowboarding realm, like it's pretty fun riding. It's POW, and I think quite often there's this sense of like, I wish there was more runs. And then for us, like in mountain biking, we've tried to play with the format a bit. And it comes down to like, it is so gnarly and there's so much risk that trying to do something and ask, like these bikers to do more than 2 runs on a critical like downhill mountain biking venue, there's like too much risk, right? It's not a like sessionable change lines, And so I think I was surprised when I saw same deal. Like you saw maybe like Sparky throw down his, playoffs run, which, it's like, damn, that looked hard. That looked like, it looked aggressive. Mm-hmm. And then, get down and it's like, okay, you got 2 more runs. It's a lot to ask. And it really comes down to like the context of how much on the like line is the riding and how much do you want to ask of the rider?
Right. I definitely agree with that. I mean, at least for me, when I was commentating Big Air and watching, we saw probably the most historic like women's snowboard Big Air go down, but it was like almost so anticlimactic because they were going for it in the playoffs. And, I think everybody was expecting like Zoe to do a switch back 12 and then try the back 14 in finals. And the fact that she did 7, I think I counted within 24 hours. And she said it during the broadcast that night. She was like, it's so scary. Like this trick is so scary. I think finding that medium, like you said, how much is too much, but how much can we give like opportunity to those riders, to have the chance to put down a really good run. And I feel like with natural selection, it's like the head-to-head is just a great format. I mean, we see it in surf. I've been in it competing in natural selection, and it's just like, it is what it is. 2 tries, 2 people going head-to-head. And like, there's a lot of strategy that goes into it, and you can try and play it as hard as you want. And there's a lot of risk playing it really hard, or you can go a little safer, but you might get outbeat. And so I think that, if one day we can integrate that head-to-head style in slope style, I think we'll see a lot more trend in style and more creativity. We're seeing it a little bit more now, like especially with the guys like Frank Jobin doing the switchback double rodeo is like just insane. And like Tyga had one in his slope style run. Yeah, which is it's so great to see them like switching it up. But I just think with a system like a head-to-head, it would kind of like encourage riders to play it a little bit safer because there's so many more brackets you have to go up against, right? Like that's all about longevity. So throughout the competition, but it's been interesting. Like I've really been nerding out and diving into it and just like getting excited for when I can get back on snow next year.
Love it. I got a couple other topics here. You were there for, obviously got to talk about Hiroto, who did a 2340, which must have been absolutely nuts to see in person. But for me, as a more of a civilian in this world of high rotations, I had to break it down in a couple different ways so I could wrap my head around it. So it's you do a 900, and then you do another 900, and then you do a 540, or you could break down this way. You do a 720, you do another 720, you do another 720, and then you do a 180. But the way that you were talking to Red when we were on the phone yesterday, the way that Red and you guys broke it down, I thought was fascinating how you guys thought about it.
Yeah, I believe it was Sean. Like after we all watched it, Sean like called us up and was like, "Can you imagine doing a back 10 to a back 12 in the same jump?" Like
10 to 12.
10 to 12.
That's chilling.
Just wrap
Good way
your
to think
mind
about
around
it.
that. Like it's insane. Yeah, it's bonkers. And I mean, we were at the spring training camps in the fall, the fall training camps this year in Stubai. And I mean, I watched Hiroto probably rep that back 21 like at least 10 times a day, every single day that we were there, no matter what the weather condition was. And so that I knew he had on lock, but I don't think anybody was prepared for the 2340. It was just insane. And honestly, like watching all the men's progression and spinning and, you know, everyone's like, you're either on the side of it or you're a guy and you have to do it to like make a name for yourself, or you're just like a bystander like me who could probably never dream about doing that. I just thought it was insane, the amount of control and air awareness he had. It wasn't like any other progressive 2160 we've ever seen or an 18. He like completely spots it and lands it like a back 5. Like that's how easy he made it look. It didn't look hard. It looked honestly so chill for him.
And he went like halfway down the landing.
And wasn't that like literally the first
Nonetheless.
send of the contest?
Finals.
It was like
That was the first one of finals.
First send of the finals. Like, cool. I just landed it. Boom, done. Won. Like, you know.
Yeah, blown away.
Yeah.
Another node to that too is like, you know, obviously Taiga Hasegawa went cab 21. It was freaking mental stomps. But one of my highlights was, you know, Taiga's last drop. He's like, I'm in second. I'm not going to beat a 2340. The guy does a cab 9 and like rolls the thing over twice. And it's just
beautiful.
Like a cab 5 is like, for me, it would be like strapping in my snowboard is like the level of difficulty for Taiga to do a cab 9. Mm-hmm. And it was just so cool to see, okay, you see these massive rotations. Here's how beautiful a cab 9 can be if I just, you know, want to cruise down to the bottom of the jump. Any thoughts on that, Hailey?
I think, you know, being a competitor and growing up and seeing the evolution of like the Japanese snowboarding is really funny, because if you just watch it on TV and you watch the Japanese team just like absolutely destroy like their do or die mentality, you're like, oh my God, these guys will like literally do anything to win. But they're also incredible snowboarders who have a lot of style. And, you know, if you watch them on TV, that's all you see. You only see the guys like Taiga. You only see him doing a cab 18. You only see him doing, you know, like all 4 18s, which is just crazy. And I think people forget that snowboarders like him, Hiroto, and even Kokomo kind of gets lost in that group within the Japanese team, that they're just spinners and like that's all they can do. But they're really talented and amazing snowboarders who can do really sick, like stylish tricks too. It's just they're not broadcasted to do that. We're, you know, at X Games and they're gonna push it as hard as they can.
Well said. I briefed you with a question as well. You watched the whole event, you broadcasted it, you called it. Did you have an unsuspecting standout from when you were there?
I mean, definitely Wang, dude.
Yes.
That was like unreal. I've seen him on Instagram before, but watching him at Knuckle Huck and just like flipping before the knuckle, after the knuckle, I was like, dude, this guy is obviously he's perfect for this. This is his event.
Dude, let's talk about that real quick. should they be judged on the drop in at the top? Because everybody, it was like gymnastics routine, right? Like strapped in, cool, front 540, nollie, back flip 180, whatever. Like, I was thoroughly impressed with that.
Yeah, imagine doing a flat ground, like, I don't know, chicane. I don't even know what that is. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Dude, it was unreal. Like, the object was in the middle of the run, and he was just no problem flipping wherever he wanted.
Yeah, great showing. Cool. Well, thanks for taking the time, Hailey. Any other thoughts on X before we let you go?
Not really. Again, that was like kind of the first job I've ever like had in my life, which is pretty insane. I felt really lucky to have like watched and announced history. It was a really cool insight into what the other side of snowboarding is like, and I'm really grateful for that experience and super honored to be on here with you guys. And I was actually telling Chris yesterday when he hit me up, but we were watching 2003 X Games Aspen slopestyle, and we got a few peeks of Travis's run in there, and it was awesome.
What was his run, Hailey? Do you remember?
Yeah,
double back road.
We were tripping on this, but it was. I'm pretty sure there was a cab 7, a cab 5, a front 3, and a front 7. We were like, our minds were like.
You add that all up, and it's a 2340, baby.
Not even.
Just add it up and realize I'm still coming up short. He's got a calculator.
You did do. That's the year that they had the like channel jump. You did do a really sick back 5 over the gap.
Where are we at with channel gaps? Should we bring back the channel gap?
Well, I love that I saw my clip from like coming up short on the channel gap. I saw that get played.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But
Bring back you know what, though? One thing I want to say about the channel, I don't know if these new gen riders can do it. I have a note about Marcus Cleveland spinning backside. Okay, he's goofy foot. So imagine this. He's coming up. He's goofy foot. Right foot forward. He's spinning backside 21. I don't know what the hell it was. But the main thing is he's drifting left to right. I mean, I come from a generation of straight boomerang, dude. We're talking, we're making the jump 30 feet longer because we're going left to, we are drifting. And now they're going oppo drift, where I almost feel like the new gen, their fundamentals are so good, they might not be able to go over the channel gap, or they got to alley-oop it. They got to alley-oop it.
Alley-oop. I'd like to see a little knuckle huck in the slope style course, mandatory knuckle huck, because seeing guys like Dusty Hendrickson, just whatever, half cab, 5.0, double fronty, or whatever like weird thing they're going to come up with, be another way to put something stylish and different besides just another, 21 or an 18 or whatever it's going to be.
Take.
Yeah, that was my inspirations coming out of it. Was like someday I want to try to get that trick that Dusty, that like little kangaroo tail pop into a fronty or whatever it is. And then Rocco's too. Like my goal this year is to, grab Dracula.
Was that the front flip backflip? Or the nollie backflip?
Double tail.
Patrick? Or,
oh no, this is on the big air.
Oh, he did a front 18, like bloody Dracula.
Yes, the bloody. Yeah. That was mean.
Which that trick was insane. I would have loved to see like a little more diversity. He kind of like, pretty much hung on to that one trick, but he can do frickin' everything.
Yeah.
And that trick is insane. Love that trick.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, Hales. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with us. We appreciate it. Hope your recovery goes well.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm going to keep it on the ground for a couple more months here.
Perfect.
Right on.
All right. Well, have fun in Colorado, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Yeah, great analysis.
She's natural on the mic. Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually Locks Open they had like a roller feature one year that was pretty cool, just like a knuckle huck in the middle of the run. It was cool. I'll run through results real quick. One thing with men's pipe, you had Scotty James, Yuto, and Ayumu top 3. Ruka Hirano wasn't there. To me, he's the one person that really can take down Scotty because he's got the big switch backside spins. He's got the triple corks. I don't know why he wasn't an X. Maybe he was hurt, but that was a little bit sad. Obviously, Chloe pure domination. Everybody's kind of competing for second place. Maddie Mastro put down a hell of a run. Sarah Shimizu got third. My dark horse, my biggest standout from this whole thing is Jobinator. Frank Jobin, he won street style. Nate Haas got second. Benny got third. Jobin also killed Big Air. Like, he was just on a tear. Also highly entertaining. Iris, Telma, and Jaylen got the top 3 in street style. That was one of the funner ones to watch. Slope, we had Zoe, Kokomo, and Mia. And then Red, Mark, and Tyga, that was the barn burner.
Dude, Red coming out on top.
Yeah.
Gotta love Reggie.
Love when he gets the win.
It was just a beautiful day for snowboarding. It was a beautiful day riding. Would have loved a little less flat light, because you know how hard that shit is when it's flat. Get those guys some sun.
Dude, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and then the other takeaway is just, can we just take a moment to appreciate how brutally difficult like half pipe riding is, and the tricks that these guys are doing and girls?
Yeah.
Like switch backside spins in the pipe. Like
Scotty James last hit, the switch double back McTwist.
Switchback 12.
Switchback 12.
Double 12, whatever, yeah.
Double 12, the cat triple.
The fundamentals of how technically difficult it is to do that stuff at the speed that I just blows my mind.
And also, like, we're in a really good place, too, where, Scotty James is dropping into switch McTwist. Like,
With so much style.
How good is that for snowboarding?
Good.
And then he does a back 10 stale, and he's grabbing it, and it's this really cool moment in the back 10 stale where he's grabbing stale fish, but he's flat before he goes into the next dip. And it's like poked like a lean air almost. It's so cool. And then imagine doing a back 10 stale into a switchback 12. Like, you got to basically be chained to a half pipe for your entire existence to like
that and a trampoline.
Yeah.
It'll all come together.
No, the reps you got to put in to get to that level.
I like seeing like Chloe at the back sev to start, maybe switch math, like 10-foot switch math.
Yeah, switch method.
Bro, that's what I'm talking about. The women, and just the women in general. I mean, I know a lot of people in the community been, just giving the props, but the reality is they have stepped it up so much, like the progression level the last couple of years, especially Zoe. Look at that.
Yeah, Zoe's dominating right now. One other note I had from men's slope is Taiga Hasegawa does I think it's double back rodeo. I'm just going to make up the rotation 12 maybe, but if you watch how he initiates it, it looks like he's going to do a back rodeo 5, the way he pops. And then he just switches his grab, I think, to tail halfway through, and then does a whole nother back rodeo 9 after the back rodeo 5. And you're just like, dude, this is fucking crazy. It's really
totally another like complete inspiration with that trick, because they're doing the double backside rodeo 10. I would always like change grabs to try to get it to come around, and the go into tail and leaning in, and that thing just the axis that he flips around on. Incredible.
It's cool. Somebody told me on the chairlift today when we were riding that it was Tiarn, actually. He was like, I heard that kid used to just camp out at the airbag and basically just live at the airbag. Like, that's why Tyga is so good. It's just he's been like reps on the bag.
He's been bred by a bag.
He's been bred by bag. Bred by bag.
Respect.
New generation here. Not taking it to snow like you, Bjorn.
Is that what's going on with like Zhang Wang? Excuse me if I'm butchering his name, but did he just...
We're going to get into some Wang talk
we
here
gotta talk
in a little
Wang.
bit. We're going to talk Wang a little bit later because Todd's got some takes. But yeah, that guy's... You know what? Let's just call Todd. Why don't we just call Todd real quick?
Always makes a conversation more interesting.
Yeah.
Todd's about to unload here. Let's see what Todd Richards has to say. We're about to announce Red Bull Heavy Metal together. I think he's in Minnesota right now.
Hello.
Richards.
Hello, I'm here.
You're here with Bjorn and Travis and Silk.
Oh, that's great. I'm sitting here staring out the window at beautiful Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Love that. Well, we wanted to we were just getting into talking about X Games and our new favorite rider, Wang, who put on, I don't know if it's Wang or Wong, I'm not sure, but this gentleman showed up and put on like a clinic of massive proportions in the knuckle huck. We're talking triple front flip, flat ground toadios, like, backside 18. I don't even know what the hell he was doing, but I couldn't believe it. Do you have any takes on this new gentleman that just broke onto the scene?
Well, I definitely feel like the trend of doing that flat ground stuff, like there is no better place for it than Minneapolis because There's not a lot of vertical out here. So if you could be that guy, you know, I feel like maybe this new trend of just like, it's almost like you just have like lift line shenanigans just doing, because that kid can literally chuck a back rodeo standing still, like just flip it over, no
Full
problem.
ninja moves.
Yeah,
Which
he's a ninja.
Which Todd, Travis here. Why has it not become a bigger? I think for decades you've seen this leak, you know, primarily out of Japan, a little bit in Korea, of this like flat ground riding, and I see kids doing it. Like I was just in Japan. You know, is this the start of a new era? Like needed someone like Wang to actually.
Todd and I have been talking about this. Todd, why don't you set the stage?
It's gonna be hard to beat Wang, but I'm sure a lot of people are gonna try.
A lot of people have been trying for
What
years.
we've been talking about is it's kind of like a gymnastics floor routine. So we were we were thinking about Bomb Hole presents floor, okay? And you just have you got a groomed run, you got nothing on it, you got to choreograph it to music, right? You get Wang in there, you get Mike Grab, you get Scott Stevens, you get Ryan Napkin, you get all these Japanese riders that are buttering around, and you got to choreograph a run, just a groomer, roped off to a song.
This has already happened in ski.
Has it?
Yes.
Yeah, I know. It's ballet.
Ballet. These guys are using their poles like trampolines.
Oh, I've seen
dude, to
footage
get
of that.
upside down. Yeah.
Well, this is floor.
You know, quick content drop on that. I actually just saw that a full-length documentary, I don't know if it's documentary or mockumentary, is coming out around the history of ski ballet, like currently.
There's no better time than now, Todd.
I think you're onto something.
I know. Strike while the iron's hot, Chris. That's what I'm saying. The bomb hole floor routine is going to take the snowboard world by storm. That's what I'm predicting.
Let me tell you something. You think natural selection's good? You haven't seen floor, okay?
Here's the thing, though. It's got legs because why does everybody like jibbing? It's relatable. Everyone's got a schoolyard handrail. Who doesn't have a floor, baby? I mean, this is worldwide.
Dude, wait.
Silk, put some of
till you
those
see
clips on the
Wang
screen
hit the
if we
floor.
can. Yeah,
that is going to be insane.
We pulled all
Can we
kinds
get
of
him here?
clips. I don't have Wang's contact info, but we pulled all kinds of clips. And I just want to highlight Wang for a second here because we went deep dive. Like 2021, early Instagram, he's going like cab 12 and just like fly swatter in the landing. Like he's getting
And he puts
bodied.
an eagle emoji on there. Like, I'm like, I love this guy. Everything's an eagle emoji.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you're flew on that one, brother.
He's been going for it for the past 5 years, and now he's refined, and we've created he's just monumental skill set. Todd?
Well, the young Wang is reckless. You know, and that's what I'm noticing from his Instagram is young Wang. It just wants to do what it wants to do. But as you get matured, you know, you're a more mature Wang. You're sticking those landings. You know, you're going for bigger prey. Now he's doing the crazy. Like the kid can land anything. Like it's not just a novelty that he's like this flat ground kid, right? Like that would be one thing, but he can basically just mangle it off of jumps. He can do everything now.
Dude, it's unreal because he also does pipe too.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. It's like and I wonder if this is one of those things
Was that
where
a
they
9?
pluck.
Wait, sorry, we're watching clips.
We're watching clips.
We can do that one
He did
again.
a flat ground Todio 9.
That was a 9.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I want to see him ride the pipe. You know, everyone's like, oh, front 180 in, switch McTwist. We're like, wow, that was insane. He's going to be like toe edge catch front 9 into the pipe.
Yes.
And then,
Oh,
you know
I'm
what I
here
mean?
for
Like
it.
he's getting an extra hit.
Yep.
I'm definitely
What do you
putting.
think the learning curve is like that for a 55-year-old man?
Well, I was about to add to that with just, you know, like I would put a poster of Wang on my bedroom wall because this is like my new core strength guru.
Right.
It's time to do some more abs.
Yeah. And anybody, like we've all ridden on snow. I can barely get a 360 around. Like this guy's doing rodeo 9s on flat ground.
It's incredible.
Do you think his boards are super stiff?
They gotta have some flat, you know, what, you think he's pure camber? Looks like it.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like he's able to load that because it's all in the flex pattern, you know?
Yeah.
He's loading that thing up and letting it rip.
Yeah, I mean,
Just nollie front 7, like 1 foot off the ground.
Yeah.
It makes it look like a 180.
I'm new to the party on Wang's body of work here, but man, am I a fan. It is just like, I hope everybody can go follow him on Instagram. We'll put the link on the screen here, Silk.
Link is on the screen now.
So is he from China? Where's he from?
I've
China.
seen
he's got
China on this jacket he's wearing. Yeah.
This is a laboratory experiment.
Was he a gymnast?
18 years later.
He's got to be gymnast. He's got to be a gymnast. Like,
That's amazing.
Team China kit top head.
Yep. Todd, maybe you had some thoughts on what do you think about the AI judging, Todd?
Oh boy, it's great, man. Oh man, I can't wait to get more of that. I feel like everyone's kind of toting this AI judge thing, but like literally anyone with a point spreadsheet from the World Cup could have figured out who's going to win. And you don't have to glorify a fucking toaster to pick a winner. Like anyone that knows snowboarding would be like, oh yeah, well, Scotty James is probably going to win. And here's the 2 or 3 dudes that are underneath him that could probably get first, second, and third, like easily. We didn't really need to lose a finals run to hear what the AI had to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you notice that we lost like a full run? That was
Yuto. Yuto's run was like small picture-in-picture on the screen because they were giving us an AI debrief.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I feel like it's the AI thing was probably an ad buy for X Games through Google, and they had to show it. Like that's what my
100%.
I was gonna say, if I'm sitting in on the boardroom with X Games, I would say that the lost run was absolutely worth it when it comes to the fundraising process and the fact that there is a direct correlation. If you put AI in it this day and age, you're going to be able to close that round, or your equity, your stock's going up.
Mm. So you're saying you got AI in Natty Select is what you're saying?
Actually, Travis is not entering Natty Select, just his AI avatar is.
It's great because, Chris and I are, I don't know when this comes out, but Chris and I are coming here to Minneapolis, St. Paul for the Red Bull Heavy Metal. And I've got a robot mask so I can put the mask on anyone from the audience and get an AI's take on the actual event. So it's going to be great. We're going to incorporate some AI into our broadcast this weekend. It's going to be fantastic.
You get a 5.6. You get a 7.0. This is the AI judge.
All right, enough of that. You get the point. Large production value. We got voice changing. Wow. We also got...
we got this one, too. What's up, guys?
Wow, respect.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how to put it on everybody else's mic.
We actually don't know how to work it.
We don't know what we're doing. All right, should be fun this weekend. Red Bull Heavy Metal.
Red Bull Heavy Metal.
Who's the fave? You guys got some picks?
Pat Fava, I just heard, pulled out.
Because he can't.
Pat Fava pulled out.
What if Pat Fav shows up and he's like nollie 540 at the drop in and then just goes like front 2?
If I'm a judge, I'm giving him some points.
Right.
That's what I'm telling you.
Right.
Yeah. We haven't seen any of those Todios from flat ground on like a down bar. That's where we're heading, hopefully. You going hard way front 2? No, I'm going nollie back rodeo 9 to back lip.
Future.
To chest.
Well, when he starts putting those tricks into like the upper rail segment, like it's over.
It's just a matter of time. Everyone's, you got Renee's doing kind of the hand drag, Miller flips, different stuff like that. I mean, it's going to be whatever, Todio front 7 to freaking back lip.
Yeah, well, and
I did see today in practice, so there's a Grand Prix going on, same course as X Games right now. I did see Lion Farrell do a backside 720 onto a flat down. He landed a back 7 onto the down part of the rail, which is bold, very bold.
What are you thinking, back lip? Actually, back 750.
Yeah, back 750.
Insane.
Well, I guess it's still softer than the landings back east. So, like, you could put your chest into a rail and still be like, that's softer than Mount Wachusett.
It's also great, Todd, is I love calling rail jams with you, Todd. It's always really fun. It's your expertise.
I have no idea what's happening.
It's just like a statue going down the rail, right?
That's right. That's right. Just lock it up. And it's good. Like my body right now is in really good form to lock it up on a rail. Like if I get into the front board, I'm not fucking moving, right? Until I come off the end of it. And then maybe I'll still be locked in backlit position.
Hey, I know we're trying to get off the wing, but one last component here. And this is a serious one. Did he intend to touch on the first? Was he going triple and like kind of got lucky keeping it skimmy, or was he trying to touch nose on the first flip?
Todd?
Oh God, I don't even know. How could that even be?
I don't think you're trying to graze. I don't think you're trying to graze it.
No.
It seems crazy to graze.
Like-
I mean, it takes it to a whole nother level if it was an intentional graze.
Yeah.
Which I'm not saying it's not. I mean, it looked, he touched it perfect. Got a little flex.
Remember when Hans Mindick did the back 360 into Corbett's couloir?
Yeah, and then completely blew it by admitting he didn't mean to do that.
Yes.
I was like,
I'm like, that was on purpose. 100% on purpose. I think I even came on his show and said it was on purpose. But that's kind of
I
the
just want to
situation
know, like, what kind of
the
guts?
triple.
Like, think about the guts and commitment it takes to like snap into a triple off of a knuckle.
I just think about my front shoulder if you overcook the turkey. Imagine the state.
done.
Imagine the state of your front shoulder if you overcook that bad boy with that much forward momentum.
Oh my God!
It's all right. Your shoulder's no longer attached to your body. It's like literally left.
Just
it's
drop
in the
Legos.
Yeah.
But that was probably minor for him. He also did like a back 1080 off.
No, it was more than
nothing.
that.
No,
No,
he did a back 10.
Are you sure? I swear it was more than a 10.
he was doing the nollie tricks.
He did the nollie back 10.
I think it was a 14, brother.
Maybe.
Might have been.
You can check it.
Yeah, I think it was a 14. 10 is like a 10,
Baby, child's
10's like
play.
literally
Child's play.
Yeah,
I think
nothing.
he did both. Actually, I think he did do a 10.
10,
He did a
and
10,
then
and
that's it.
then he went double. Maybe it was 14 or something.
insane. All right, Todd. Thanks for chatting with us.
All right.
I'll see you tomorrow
I'll
on
see
the
you guys
ropes.
later.
Good luck.
On the ropes. I'm going on the ropes tomorrow. I heard they have a half pipe, so I'm going to go and try to give myself a huge hipper right before the event so I can stand around all day on Saturday with a hipper.
Oh, yeah. Richard's on the ropes tomorrow. Tune in.
All right. We'll see you guys later.
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 This time tomorrow, I'll be on a rope tow. I'm very excited about it.
Todd Richards, the greatest.
He's going to ride the Buck Hill half pipe, which has been the same piece of dirt since I rode there in like 1990 or something. It's pretty sick. It's still there.
Good stuff. All right, let's check in with you. I got a note here for Bjorn. What have you been up to? I know you've been working on a project. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, we've been working on a kind of a multi-season project with Black Diamond. Coming out next fall, Lifeline it's called. And yeah, it's kind of takes you on a journey from the early years, kind of chaptered base, what it takes to kind of, have a life in the backcountry. And I've had a great time making it. My sons are in it too, which is cool. Kind of the correlation of like when I was 18, kind of their age, and then them now, and then riding together. And through the Mac Dog days to nowadays to really, I'm excited because, people think maybe I've been sleeping and not really snowboarding that much and just building a brand, which I've been definitely working hard on Cardiff but getting my days and my reps and trying to, up my prowess on the mountains and bring to life some of the stuff in my mind. And so, yeah, man, it's been really fun making it and filming it and excited to put it out next fall.
Which, if I could interject here, I got a little sneak peek at a rough. I'm sure it's nothing like it's going to be put together, but Bjorn and I found each other together up at Third Edge Hailey last spring up in AK. So I brought Estelle up there, and the movie's kind of fucked. Like it's so good.
You got heat? You sitting on some clips?
I guess so. If Trav says so, then I'll take that.
It's
I
so
don't want
good.
to
There's
really
just
say
like a
much
level
about
of
it,
like
but
ferocity that I just don't see that often, to be frank. Like,
thank you.
So you're riding some spicy AK in there?
There's some spice girls in there, that's my happy place. I like the spice, the pepper.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Peppercini, my board is called the Rock Detector, the Rock Magnet. So, yeah.
Likes exposure. The guy likes exposure.
It's a good time out there. And then, being able to ride up at Third Edge, that place is insane. I know. Where's the ski events in Tordrillos this next year, right? NST?
the ski event is in deep, undisclosed Alaska.
Oh, excuse me.
No. It's
Got it.
to be determined.
So it's somewhere up in the In the great state of Alaska. All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
but no, yeah.
Well, and just, quick side note, Estelle and I are out, landing, like looking at our lines, talking about them, looking at photos, setting it up, going up, playing that game. And then Bjorn, riding with a couple homies, is literally doing the same thing, except like middle seat, getting a quick glance out or not even seeing the run at all. And then like taking the same approach, but like literally on-sighting everything with no like, all right, homework, taking time to look at it, didn't get a photo of it. So
I'd never like client boarded like that before. Cause normally
I don't know what that means.
Well, so like when you're going to AK, you're like taking a photo of the run. You're like, cool, I can picture myself, this navigate it down, hope, throw this trick, do this line, whatever.
Yeah, you're making sure you're doing all the homework. You got time, set up, make sure you know where you're going.
Dropping the filmer off in place, you're like, cool, that's the angle, like, boom. And in this situation, I mean, I'm not complaining. I was in a clientship that I wasn't paying for, which is great, and just getting reps. But like, they're like, their whole goal is to just get the most runs they can out of the day, right? And me, I'm like, oh, can you put me over there on top of that? I want to ride down that. And that's not the goal. So, you're like getting a limited vision of what you're going to snowboard on and then how. And then, yeah, so that was a unique new experience for me. And
yeah, all I'm saying is like
fun.
Film riding approach, like, critical errors and, taking chances with little to none, no homework and prep, which the on-sighting element is like, I think that's goes to show the veteran level of.
Yep.
We did that with that line that you rode, that gnarly one, the crack. And we like flew by the line. And
you went and rode the crack.
Cody Townsend, you've done it. And I think maybe Ajax or something, because he told me later. But yeah, we flew by it and they're like, you want to ride the crack? I'm like, what's the crack? I didn't really know. And I was like, sure, yeah, put me on top. Like,
you greased the crack, right?
I wouldn't say I greased it. Based on the conditions, it had sloughed through the middle, and the problem was it was about a 15-footer to what looks like powder, but it was like ice when I landed. And then, yes, I butt checked right off the top, but then rode it. But anyways, dude, it was just a great experience to be up there and then feel the energy, like Trav's there filming, and Estelle Pensiero, Jeff's daughter from Baldface, like her first time in AK, and she was just ripping it. And yeah, good vibes, man.
Yeah, how was that riding with Estelle?
It was beautiful. Like, known Estelle a lot of her life, and the opportunity to roll up there with her, kind of take a bit of an unbridled approach. Frankly, like a little stressful to me, just because knowing this woman, friends with her family, I'm part of her family, and so that kind of trying to find that balance of a healthy way to support stepping out into some big like AK riding experience. And actually, I think she's got an edit called Sunshine that Jake Price has been working on that might be out like right around this time. If so, maybe we'll link it here. But
amazing. So you're in a mentorship role too in that way?
Yeah, it was beautiful, like mentorship complete like through our session. And we had stability and we had good snow, and we got to ride some buck wild stuff, which, quick side note, there's a line up there called The Wizard, which whatever we've talked about in a couple of the film projects. And it's just one of the most aesthetically, gorgeous, proper, 1,000-foot style spine line, which it's got a lot of, glaciers and holes at the bottom. It's intimidating face. And watching her that was like the pinnacle of our trip, was watching her like put down 2 runs on that face with like aggression, rode it really well, managed her slough. I mean, it was, for me, it was one of the most like pivotal, like female free riding moments I've ever been a part of.
Cool. I love that. I got a total sidebar about AK that I just want to pick your guys' brain on right now, because the other day on the show, we had Egan and Brian Fox were on here, and we were kind of debating. Basically, what I was saying was like, just like they were complaining about too much spinning, and I was like, just let people go do the hardest thing you can do on a snowboard and just let it be. And Brian stopped me. He's like, you think that's the hardest thing? I was like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, I have to challenge you on that. I think that going to Alaska, riding sight unseen terrain, making critical decisions that you know, are all off of feel and years of experience. That's the hardest, the most difficult thing you can do on a snowboard. I would love to hear where you guys weigh in on this topic.
I mean, I'll maybe spoil the question in a bit, and just the relativity of it all and the beauty that there's such a diversity within snowboarding. It's nuts because, you know, put me at some like critical, super exposed, you know, street spot like today, like, you know, or for that matter, you know, triple cork onto a brick hard flat light, like landing. You know, the relativity of it, I think that's the beauty of it, is like it's an objective truth that changes.
Yeah, there's no
That's a good
can't
answer.
just compare it all. It's like art, right? Like everybody's got a different expression, and what's the coolest, what's the best, whatever, what's the hardest. Fully debatable.
You guys kind of avoided the answer.
Is that a Louis Vito?
Yeah, you kind of Louis Vito'd it, but you got to say which one's harder. But I like you guys are so mature in your answers. No, that was beautiful. I love it. All right, we talked a lot about contests today. One thing that I think we should discuss is Snow League. I'd love to get your guys' take on it. Some intel on it is it's the biggest prize purse in snowboarding, $1.5 million. It's a points chase. So it's starting this year, year one. They're going to have just one half pipe event. That's qualifiers are March 7th, finals are March 8th, and that's at Aspen Snowmass. And a couple things to know about its head-to-head format, a lot like the Natty Select. Riders drop in from both sides of the pipe. So they have to drop in from alternating sides for their first two runs. I found that pretty interesting. And yeah, I mean, then next year they're going to do 3 more events. And then there'll be like like they would in F1 or any other thing, like a points, they're going to crown a champion. What are your guys' thoughts?
I mean, look, first off, epic to hear the like prize purse element that's coming to it. I'd be curious to learn the breakdown, because that's over 2 years, right? The 1.5.
Yeah. Yep.
Still, you know, real money.
Yep.
And, you know, my take on Snow League, if there's more resources like coming into snowboarding, like that is a good thing. To see Sean like throwing around some of his weight to raise some freaking capital, like, fuck yeah. Like I'm all for it. I want to see it work. I want to see it succeed. I want to see the prize purses get bigger, like across the board.
Great stuff.
Yeah, more awareness in snowboarding. Like bring it to, I don't want to say a bigger stage, but just increasingly build on it. I'm here for it too. And the prize money scenario, it's like we're talking about 2340s and all these things, like how much the risk versus reward. I don't even know what X Games first place is these days, but it's like it's not that much, right? 10
Maybe
grand,
20
grand.
I don't know the number. I shouldn't say.
I think it's shrunk. It peaked out. I think it was at 50 at one point, right? There was a year or two that
right.
I think it's shrunk.
But it's not when I look at risk versus reward, and granted these guys, they train so much, maybe they're just nailing these tricks or whatever, but it's like, man, you think about what, you know, all this money in a lot of other big sports is.
Yeah.
It's like, I think that's great to reward kind of the highest level of competition with more, you know, prize money. Great. And that's good. You know, Sean, I also think for Sean personally to like kind of maybe reinvest in himself in the snowboard community is a good look. You know, it's like, dude, you've risen to the top, to this other stratosphere that, you know, with the exception of kind of Travis's notoriety, nobody else really got there, right? And so like, I don't know how much of this is like give back, but the fact that he's creating something within the space is a good thing, in my opinion.
Totally. And,
you know?
and him with the amount of weight that he holds with his name, like people they hear Sean White and they want to be a part of it. And I will say, I'll be the first to say, like I've spoken negatively on Sean not doing enough for snowboarding, but I think that, you know, he really kind of shut me up with this event in some ways as like a media guy kind of bashing, because you look at, I mean, this is money going in snowboarders' pockets, and then it's on Peacock as well, which is like a major streaming service, and then it's going to go on NBC in March, which is just putting snowboarding in front of more people, and you know, for riders to make a living and elevate our sport in that direction. So I think it's good.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up. all day. I think it's going to take, like any great thing, great endeavor. It's like, let's circle back in 3-4 years. That time is the truth sayer.
Yeah, straight up.
But the realities of, I think, what their intention is, and I mean, let's go.
Absolutely. Cool. If you're interested in Snow League, you can find their social at the Snow League on all channels. You can find all the information about where to get tickets, all that stuff, or you can go to thesnowleague.com.
Which, real quick, do you know, is that going to be live?
I think it'll be live on Peacock.
Live on Peacock.
Yep. So
yeah,
Bjorn and I watch
like
Supercross.
NBC,
So
Peacock live for
yeah,
sure.
Peacock's a streaming service,
Yeah.
and so you have to pay. It's behind a paywall, but I watch Supercross on it. That's why I have it.
I think too, you can like purchase, and then if you want to do the homework, you can go in and like get your like free month and like pull
Straight
out
up.
of it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a big couple weeks. So 7th, 8th, Snow League running out of Aspen, right?
Yep.
And then our event probably 11th, 18th. It'll be a good 2 weeks of
That's your window, 11th to 18th, the weather window?
for live as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then you're going to do 2 events in that span.
Yeah, we'll do two full days.
And then obviously the most important event of all these, Bomb Hole Cup,
Cup.
April 5th and 6th.
It's going to be live on all
Actually,
main channels.
we're doing I think we're in the process of doing a live for just the Pro Showdown. So,
Really?
Yeah. Just the Park Showdown.
like an
just the Pro
Elon
class.
Musk partnership type live star.
Yeah,
Link
well,
or
there's a
whatever
couple
we're
of
talking
silent investors. Yeah, a couple. We got some private equity coming. No, I'm just kidding. We're just gonna do a piece of shit live stream. It should be pretty good. But I don't know if you ever heard, Trav, how I'm a big conventional sports guy. So I went to the Winter Classic last year, hockey event, and they have the military jet flyover right after the national anthem, and I was so inspired by that. Last year we had our shipping guy Danny and our GM Jules sing the national anthem.
She did good.
They did a good job.
Yeah.
And then we had a civilian 2-person helicopter fly over, and then we start off the contest. The first 5 minutes of the contest, no warm-ups are allowed. Mandatory 900 first hit. So it's like a 40-foot park jump, and there's just a barrage of people chucking nines. Did you get in there, Bjorn?
I was chucking nines.
Yeah.
I think the coolest thing though, like having the national anthem at the snowboard event, it was, it's kind of like show up at the football stadium. It's just status quo in America. Yeah. I felt very Americanized right there.
It's also like it creates an energy. It's like some shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's
build up.
That's what I like. Is like I watch a lot of regular sports.
Yeah.
You see the first line bouncing around on the ice for the national anthem. You're like, it's about to go down.
Right.
And so I think we accomplished that.
I'm fired up on that. All right. Well, we're going to try to get the Canadian anthem going.
Oh, Canada. Should have Dustin sing it. Craven. We should have Craven. Oh, other sidebar for natural selection. This helmet, it's a run through a wall hockey helmet. There will be a rider wearing it at natural selection, which we will announce later.
Is that
and there's also will be another rider wearing a run through a wall helmet, which we'll announce later.
Is that a CCP? What?
A CCM.
CCM?
Yeah, CCM. Yeah. Yep.
Certified for headbutts on the rink.
That definitely will pass any and all helmet inspections. It's definitely MIPS certified.
There you go.
Yeah. So, cool. What else do we got on our notes? A couple other things. Couple heater clips. We don't have it, but I just got to say, Juicy Joker's back lip 270. Silk will have it on the screen. It's insane.
It's like 100 feet long.
Yeah, that was.
And it's a 270 out. It's like
backlit. Dude,
yeah.
I don't even know how he held that thing. That was my favorite clip I've seen on the internet in a while. And then Transparent just dropped, which is a video with Ivica, Kaz, Will Smith, Dominic Wagner. Dom is he holds the papers. He holds the title. Like if you could, he holds the title to the back one on. Street kink, like nobody's coming close. He's got, if you were to put all of his back ones on together, it would, his Mount Rushmore of his back ones he's done on the street spots, nobody comes close. So shout out to Dom. Cost provides, cost footage always goes. Will Smith brought it, Ivica brought it. Great stuff from the Euros. So check out Transparent. I believe Torment is hosting that if you haven't seen it. And that's what I got on my notes, guys.
Great job, Chris.
What else do you want to talk about? Any other topics?
I think we should probably hit some Instagram questions.
Oh shit! We didn't do a single question.
We'll do an entire segment right now just for all our viewers who submitted questions.
Let's see what we got here. Travis, this is from Plywood Fiend. What was the Velvet Castle experience?
Full spectrum. Velvet Castle line that rode a couple years ago up in Selkirk Tangiers terrain into your BC Revelstoke area. It was I think I kind of told the story before, but basically like went out looking for like the spot to ask my lady to marry me. And so found the rolled into this valley, doing a quick scout, kind of camouflaged it with like natural selection, venue scout for next year. Whatever, have this amazing moment up with Brooke, mother of my children, and picked this valley because just happened to see the most berserker terrain I've ever come across. Just the pillowed, cascading nature of this face, just geological oddity. And then spent basically 2 years later, 2 weeks later, for 2 weeks, just kind of fixated on trying to get at least a shot at going and riding it. Grabbed Sweden, we rolled back up, and 2 big days working with the Selkirk Tangiers crew, and ended up getting a shot at riding this face, which is just bonkers. It was incredible. It was a full stamina. It's like 4-minute runs. I really want to see someone else go ride it. We left a lot on the table up there, but Velvet Castle, got to be one of the greatest faces.
Great story. I'm most blown away by your vocabulary. It's just unbelievable, the vernacular that you have. I'm just taking notes over here. Okay, next question. I just want to preface, Silk, don't let him dodge this. You guys can't dodge this question. We need an answer.
You got it. Yep.
You can't. You guys have been great at dodging with like these kind of eloquent
You're not getting
answers.
away with it this time.
A cheddar bisque question or something?
It's not a cheddar bisque.
Oh, dang.
Is Bjorn's method better? Oh, this is from 207 Metro. Is Bjorn's method better than T. Ricky's?
No question. You kidding me? Not even a question.
Yours is better?
I've had a couple.
Trav's got a great method.
I occasionally surprise myself. I got a method, but not like Bjorn.
Bjorn, what's
got
your
the consistency?
Travis,
No, the
wow.
consistency. It seems like it's always been there.
Do you think your method's better, Bjorn?
It's a yes or no
It's
question.
a yes or no question. You can't dodge it.
Yes.
Bingo. We got it.
Wow.
Some things are not necessarily
But
objective.
you know what? Outside of this room or on the other side of the wall, you get the Jamie Lynn method. That's better than both of ours. So
Goofy footer.
Right.
You know what I have to take on? Regular footers have all the good McTwists. Is there a good goofy McTwist out there? Kaishu, but we're talking like Terrier, Trevor Andrew, Nicholas. Like, I feel like all the greats for McTwists are regular.
Yeah.
Danny Davis.
You got the switch one with Scotty James.
Yeah, I was going to say Scotty James. Scotty James did a great goofy McTwist.
That's a good point. Okay, I like it. Okay, Bjorn, this is from BH Brown. Ask Bjorn what happened with Celtec. I loved working for them at SIA.
Oh, nice.
I just found a heated glove, Celtec heated glove. I think it was like at the tail end.
Yeah.
In my garage.
Long story short, Celtec, it's kind of like when you wear a really nice shirt and then you fold it up and you put it on a shelf and you're going to wear it again later. That's kind of what happened with Celtec. It's currently sitting on a shelf, ready to get, taken off, maybe a couple buttons, sewn back on in the right place and put back out there. So yeah, as far as, the why, a lot of different factors. A lot of things were financial was definitely a main factor. My brother was growing his family, living in Southern California, and we had been running our own business for 15 years. And, it was like all the weight's always on your shoulder when you're an entrepreneur, and you got to, wear 20 different hats and stuff. And he had the opportunity to work for Stance. They had been kind of headhunting him for a long time, and it's like, oh wow, what's that like? Make more money, work less, have one job, and but to answer the question, it's just sitting there nicely packaged up, kind of waiting to be brought back out. So
Love that.
Look to the future.
Okay, next question. This is from Nate Everdija. Sorry, I butchered your name. Travis, gun to your head. Got to get a street clip. What's going down?
What's the spot? What are we talking?
Let's just say kink rail. Let's just say like you could gap to the end of the kink rail, or you could slide the whole thing. That's kind of a good standard issue spot.
I'm going switchboard slide through the kink, wrap into front board.
Oh God, that's a timeless classic. Dude, I'm gonna tell you, Trav, that trick kind of like people stopped doing it for a while. I broke that one out of retirement on a flat down the other day. Holy smokes.
When you get it, it just feels so good. That like moment where you fucking flip it around.
Sidebar, I've got some footage recently viewed of Travis in like 04. They did this Boost Mobile rail / big air kicker in Chicago. Kanye West was there. Remember this?
Vaguely, yeah.
Yeah. And anyways, you were killing it on the rail. Mark Frank was there. It was like a big jump, and then there was a quarter pipe, and then there was also a rail thing. Anyways,
he likes to pretend he don't jib.
He had some jib skills.
I love the jib. I got respect for the jib.
Okay, this is actually there might be some good information from this question with you guys. It says splits up to shred down. Is the guy who asked this. Where is technology going in avalanche safety? Drone hammocks, ? But that's a good question. Where are we going with avalanche safety technology? You guys are really into that. What do you got?
Yeah, I think there's a new beacon on the market that doesn't interfere with the electromagnetic frequencies of like your radio and your cell phone and that stuff. That's super crucial because that's a big kind of, I think the technology is only going to get better and better with regards to that. The locating stuff is it's pretty well there. It's pretty, dumbed down as far as like how to use it and how efficient they work. I don't know, airbags. It seems like airbags are kind of the now, everybody's got a really sick airbag. I'd like to see them get lighter. It is tough to make them lighter. But yeah, shovels, probes, those are just pretty timeless, dialed in. What else?
Yeah, I mean, I think on the airbag kick, like Arc'teryx has a new, because if you go carbon bottle, it's still like the Mammoth system for a lot of like the electric, recharges on the market. I just find that's still like the lightest setup you can have. Mm-hmm. But I think that, I can't confirm it, but I think that like new Arc'teryx, I forget what they're called, but their bag system, it's got like a little supercharger in it. I think that electric system is going to be lighter, which is great. And then, you can break the category down. I think there's a few things that will never change, which is like the preventative measures that come into understanding the hazard. Like that's something that is fundamentally the thing that should be focused on the most. And one of my favorites I've got to play with, you've probably seen it, is the probe with the pressure sensor tip. Mm-hmm. And what's cool about that is like, but you got to be in the know already. But if there's problematic layers, like whether it's, some little kind of faceted layer, or a lot of times when you find like hollow snow deep in the snowpack, like that's a problem layer, or if there's like a sun crust. And what's really interesting with these probes is if you have an idea of what you're looking for, like, because the conditions change depending on the aspect of the face, how high it is, whatever, you can just do this probe and you can get an understanding of if that layer of concern is within there. So it's something that it's kind of you got to have a high level of education.
How does it give you the data? Is it like on the probe itself?
It's the pressure. It's got, I think that it maybe interfaces with your phone. But you get an instant readout of like the pressure. And so you can just probe, boom, see if like a layer is there or not. I think that inevitably the like air pocket that is formed with an airbag. You know, it's nice that it's not. You know, I like the electric fans, because it's air. It's not like, you know, some gas that you can't breathe. And the fact that it like, okay, after 2 minutes and it deflates and gives you space. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's like the preventative measures. And I think where the future of it is going to go to a place. I mean, the military already has technology where it's like, this person is exactly right there. Like, there's no like finding.
Right.
And, you know, beacons, it's nice to hear, you know, they get better, but it's still pretty old technology.
It'd be great if
that
it was
found
literally
on.
your cell phone and you're out there and it's like, cool, we just located them. They're
Yeah,
right
it's just like,
here.
right there.
You know, it's
Boom.
like,
Like,
an
there's no
app
search,
on
it's
your
just-
phone.
Yep.
That's where
Would
the
be all
person is.
time. But also in the space, what I've seen is just a lot more opportunity for classes and learning and kind of, you know, stuff that's been more geared towards, especially in snowboarding, just more learning environments. There's definitely more people that are, before it really felt like avalanche safety was kind of this, if you're going to become a ski guide, you kind of became elite and you like studied and did these things. But now there's like a lot more knowledge that you can gain easily, whether it's on like a website, you know, like Know Before You Go, or even like UtahAvalancheCenter.org. They crush it on like all the dissemination of information for kind of the basics. And then there's all these classes now that just go down the different rabbit holes, from whether you're like a 101 guy and need to learn how to use your gear, or if you want to understand how, you know, to read the layers of the snows and digging pits and getting more integral and in-depth in it, you know, guys like Pat Moore, Risk Maturity, those classes. Like, I think you've really seen a big movement, especially in the last 5 years since, you know, COVID and the flood of people going in the backcountry, to now more education, which is crucial. Love to just see that keep expanding.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing that's happening and will continue to happen, is like whether it's on like courses or whether it's just groups of people being able to find resources, like that's where the shit's at. I've heard several pitches on like, it's this drone tech, you know, it just boom, pops out and goes and directly finds the person. But it's like, okay, that's fucking cool. But, you know, you're dealing with a situation that's like, it's probably more of like carcass recovery, like Reco, sorry.
Yeah.
Rico.
Yeah.
You know, same deal, where it's like the fundamentals of what that technology really is. Like there's, you know, very few instances where sure, a Rico actually found somebody, but it's more like, how do you find someone that's gotten lost or a huge, you know, avalanche and you're looking for bodies.
Let's just get chipped, and like you can locate me whether I'm 6 feet above the snow in the air doing a method or 6 feet under.
Yeah, keep it preventative.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great take. It's all about the education. Well, boys, I think we did it.
I think we did. I got to shout out to Carter Westfall, CEO of Natural Selection. He's a big fan of the show.
Love that.
Wanted to, you know, going to tickle him pink to hear his name on this beautiful band.
Shout
Yeah,
out. Should we give him an air horn?
He's a guy that deserves an air horn.
We
He
give him
freaking
let's
puts
give him a
lot of work
super air
in.
horn.
Select.
Boom. Well deserved.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love what you're doing with Natural Selection. Keep it going. It's fantastic.
Hey, it's happening because the people that matter continue to show up.
Oh shit! Thank you. I'll just invite me. I'm there. Let's go.
Yep. And Cardiff.
Yes, sir.
I mean,
you want me to shout out?
Yeah, shout out Cardiff, because I feel like, you know, I don't know if everybody
Yeah.
knows American company.
Go like one level deeper because
you
Cardiff's
really
dope.
grazed Cardiff. Let's just talk
I mean,
Cardiff.
you know, thank you. I'm not the biggest self-promoter, so I appreciate that. But yeah, with Cardiff, dude, we're just trying to unite the snow. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just get out there. We're different equipment for the same purpose. You're a split boarder, cool. You're a snowboarder, cool. And even skiers. We got love and respect for everybody. And yeah, essentially, we just want to make a premium product. And so you have a better experience. And that's what it's all about. We're about community and like growing your skill sets. And, you know, we're from the backcountry to the resort. But ultimately, a lot of the fun goes down at the resort. And I'm here for it. So.
And what's the name of the spot that you guys got by the mouth of the canyon there?
Oh, we call it the Dispatch, but that's the name of the shop. It's just next to the busiest 7-Eleven in the country. We call it the North Shore right there. So yeah, come in the shop, check us out, open daily, and we'll put some smiles on your face. Or go to the local snowboard shop, man. We got a bunch of guys across the country that are backing it, and yeah, we're just doing our thing out here, kind of underground.
Love it. And I will say, like Bush, you know Chris Bush, he rides.
Yes.
I went splitboarding with him, and he was on your Cardiff board, and he was just raving about how good the thing is. Like he just
love that.
So people do love the product. You know,
Yeah.
it's a really good split.
We've been validated with the split board. Was kind of our first, main channel, and then now everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, the snowboards, those are insane!" And then next is kind of the skis,
Yeah, the skis
as well.
yeah,
So
the
we
skis.
got to take back that revenue from the skiers. You know what I mean?
There you go. Okay.
That's exactly how I think. It's like these corporate skier guys that won't let me ride Alta. That's what I picture when I want to like sell a pair of skis. I'm like taking money out of him, going to Cabo and playing golf. Yes. No, I'm just kidding. We got love for everybody out there, and thanks for the support with Cardiff and dude, the bomb hole. You guys are amazing, Danny, whole cast here. Silk.
Okay, last thing here. Anything else to add, Travis?
Silk, I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Before we wrap the show, we got some gifts for you guys. These are Turtlebox speakers. I keep them in my house. You can daisy chain them together. That's the one thing. And I've charged these things one time. The battery lasts for over 20 hours. They're waterproof. They're extremely loud. They're great speakers.
Wow, dude, we're gonna be bumping these at the dirt bike track.
Yeah, we'll
in
be
between
listening.
motos?
Yep, we can be watch Supercross and have the audio go through
Thank
the
you.
Turtlebox.
Do you ever highlight the reality that this is also a pretty good self-defense item?
No, that's a new
Dude,
Hot
talking
take.
point.
Turtlebox, you swing a Turtlebox at someone, they're going
Yep.
down.
Yeah, it's a good product.
Most people
It's got some
got a
weight.
club in their car. I got a turtle box just in
Yeah.
case.
If somebody tries to steal your car, you can throw this at them and they will be injured. That's a fact. So,
Looks awesome. Thank
Travis, do you want to take us out of the show with like a nice little sign off?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for tuning in. It's the reason why we exist is for you. Coming straight out of the epicenter of the grid, center of the universe for some, right here in Salt Lake City. Bombhole, we love you.
Beautiful.
God damn it.
That's a wrap.
That's it.
Let's go.